is me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio here on our Sunday morning tradition that continues on in our 14th year. We're getting close to our 15th year anniversary here on the Couch Potato Sports Show, bringing you everything we've been doing for the last 15 years here on the show, whether it be indoor football, high school football. We even did indoor soccer, wrestling. We've done all kinds of things here up on the show. I'm going to try just when I get the opportunity to put together some kind of anniversary show. Hell, I might not even do that, just not having enough time. But 15 years, long time up on the show as far as what we do week in and week out. But the guy's been joining us a lot lately. He hasn't been here for long, but he kind of stealing my show. But, it is what it is, but, like hell. But... And again, it don't take much to steal the show because Z stole the show on me too. So there we go. It is the one, the only. It is the Podfather. Good morning there, Trey Mack. Good to see you.
I wouldn't say that I'm stealing the show. I'm just giving the people what they want. The people reach out to me and says, "Look, we need more you, less Sonny." It's hard to because you talk too damn much. But
hey, that's just the way it is.
I mean, you're like the biggest.
But you get a lot of talking on your own show, though, right? I mean, you not only that, you got a lot of things going on with the new show.
I mean, I pass the ball around a lot. Clearly, I mean, with the Offshoots TV show, because when you have 5 people on your show, as we know on this show, whenever that magic moment happens, you always want to pass the ball around because you don't want to make it just all about you.
You wouldn't want to do that for you, right? You wouldn't want to do that.
No. I mean, I shot on my own merit, sir. But
gotcha.
But no, we got the daily grind starting tomorrow. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Myself and Presley, we've been talking about this for months, and we're gonna do the kind of like a Regis Kathy Lee type thing, to where we're gonna sit and just for an hour, just talk about what's going on in the world and have some fun with it. And it's not gonna be wrestling related. It's not gonna be sports related. It won't be. It'll just be just. I mean, there's other issues in the life outside of sports and wrestling for a lot of people.
There is.
Yeah, right. I know, right?
I didn't know.
So I mean, and the thing is, in her other podcast she does. She has 2 of them the one where her and her friends talk about a lot of women issues that they go through, this and that, and the other one is where she has one that's called The Middle Ground, where she's she's a conservative, but she's also very liberal about it. So there's she plays both sides of the fence. So she's gonna do her own little thing with that as well. Again, the idea that you can just not have an actual radio show and come on here and actually spout off what you want to spout off. It's a free country. Say what you want. And now that the StreamYards and the Skypes and all the rest
big platform now.
Yeah, bigger platform than we ever had. And let's face it, COVID opened up the door for a lot of this shit.
There's no question. COVID opened up this whole show being on StreamYard in the first place.
Yeah, and I mean that's what we did with Offshoots TV as well. Because once I saw how you were doing it, and I wanted to see what it would take on my end to do that as well. Me and Mike, we got the ball rolling, and we added people to the show. And next thing you know, we still have the longest running wrestling podcast in DFW. And it's funny too, because a lot of people who come along to want to do their own thing, they never stick with it.
They come and go.
They come and go.
15 years, I've seen so many. I've seen people try to steal my name, and they don't last as long as me. It's just crazy.
Hey, kudos to the Carl Knights and the Christopher Moores of the world that want to come out there and do their own thing. But then you see one of them come out there and say, "What kind of show do you want? I want to appease everything you." I'm like, "Don't do that. It's your show. It's your show."
I think the only way you are able to do that, Trey Mack, is making it your show. Because if you're doing what other people want you to do, you kind of lose track or lose interest in continuing to do it somebody else's way or to appease somebody else. It never works.
Years ago, I owned a baseball card store in Carrollton, Texas, right? Back when that was actually a thing. And before eBay came in and just the slate clean really. So
Yeah.
I had this card store I bought from this one guy, and I listened to what this guy said. This is how the store could be competitive, right? Then I hear these other people tell me the same thing. I need to have more of this. I need to have more of that. And I tried to cater to so many different platforms to keep my store going. And you know what happened? I went bankrupt
Yeah.
because you don't have the funds, you don't have the money, and honestly, people can have a lot of great ideas of how they think your business could be run, but until they're actually in your shoes doing it, it's a whole different
Absolutely.
ballgame. And
Yeah.
when I started doing the Offshoots podcast, we were just talking to WWE wrestling, right? And a lot of guys, and then we dwelled into the independent scene here in DFW, and some people want me to talk about this, and people want me to talk about that, and there's a lot of different promotions in the area, and they want me to sit there and just really, in a sense, cater to all their needs. And by the way, for free, by the way. So
Of course.
so we tried that, and it worked for a little bit. And again, we instilled a Hall of Fame, and we did that whole thing, and we always honor those who have wrestled in Dallas. And as time moved on, then we moved to the StreamYard thing, and then we started having a group of guys who aren't really tied to the DFW wrestling scene as much, but do watch WWE wrestling, do watch AEW or TNA or whatever the deal is. So we said, let's just go back to our roots. And I don't have the same two people on my show I had before, but I have a bunch of guys on there now that will love to talk. What's going on to WWE? Is The Rock going to be wrestling at WrestleMania? Is The Rock only doing the thing in Australia? What's it going to do for Cody Rhodes? Stuff like that we can all talk about and have a lot of fun doing it. And honestly, with throwing our segments on YouTube has made it a lot of fun. Whereas, I went on there and reviewed the Iron Claw 2 weeks ago, and
I saw that.
And Mike, who saw the movie, had a different take on it. So I threw his response on there as well, so people can actually go on there and see how we're doing this. And it's been more fun creatively doing it this way than it has.
Exactly.
And again, it's what if you're worried about what somebody else wants your show to be, then you're doing the wrong thing.
You're doomed. You're doomed.
And
I mean, after doing this for 15 years, I learned that the main part is creative control. I always shoot back to our days, it was 6 months over on Sporting News Radio before Yahoo bought them out. Them calling up and saying, we want you to do this, we want you to do that, can you do this? And the Sporting News Radio blitz, or whatever they used to call it, I didn't mind doing that because it gave me a minute or two to kind of chill, listen to it, and go from there. But when they started getting into what I should do, what I should talk about, it made it very hard for me creatively because I had a totally different direction I was going to with the show. So you're right.
Well, it's funny because Pat McAfee is on ESPN right now, right?
Yes.
He has a top-rated show on ESPN, bottom line, because he brings it and he knows how to do that. He's got people on the inside messing with the show, and I'm like, guys, you're getting advertisers. You may not be getting the way you want them to get, but you're getting your bang for your buck for that damn show. Back the hell off and let him do his thing. Because
that's where ESPN thinks they're better than him,
right,
because of what they've been doing for the years. And McAfee, I love it. I love McAfee because he ain't playing it, and he called him out, which is what you should do. But at the same time, when you got as much money as Pat McAfee has, you have that ability to do that at that time. So yes, it's kind of, but at the same time, I think if he wasn't making them, he probably would have done the same thing, which is one of the reasons why I like him.
But you know what though? Here's the thing: he can take his ball and do his own thing again, and still make the money he was making. I mean, the thing is, Dan Patrick and what's his name? The guy who's on Roku right now, Rich Eisen. Both guys were ESPN guys at one time.
Yes.
Broke away from ESPN and now start talking bad about it. Pat McAfee saying, "I'll talk bad about you here. I'm here."
Yeah, why not?
Exactly. Because he has the pro wrestling mentality to sit there and go, "Look, facts are facts. I'm delivering you guys ratings. You can have all your opinionated shows, all your Stephen A. Smith shows. Who the only way they get ratings is they talk about the Cowboys because that's what the viewership wants them to bash on the Cowboys.
Absolutely.
However, you come over to my show. By the way, I did not think I was going to enjoy Pat McAfee on the sidelines calling college football games. I love it.
No, I haven't heard it, so
it's great. I mean, but the thing is, he's not up in the booth. He's on the sideline. Him and his crew are on the sideline calling the games. And it's a whole different take, and it's actually very, very. I mean, obviously he's got a TV in front of him so he can actually watch everything. But the fact that he's actually there that close onto the field, and he's not sitting away from from the very back, very top of the building, looking over everything. It's a different take, and it's so good because this is innovative. This is, this is something that the NFL will probably get involved with here soon. This is something that they kind of did with the Booger McFarland thing for Monday Night Football, but it was not quite the same when you have all your guys on the sideline.
The whole idea is, going outside of the box is not to go against somebody's thinking that is successful. Believe me, I deal with that all the time. It's about doing and trying things. Sometimes you just got to try, and sometimes you got to fall on your face and it not work. I mean, that's just the way it is. And that goes with whether it's a radio show like this, or even what you do in your 9 to 5 grind. Going outside the box should be something that is looked at as a positive, not a negative, and that's what McAfee does. That's why it works.
The worst thing is McAfee is doing the same thing that all of us deal with in the corporate world: the micromanaging of businesses left and right. This is how things should be, because if it's done by this, letter by letter by letter, you can't have the alphabet without A, B, C, D, E.
Exactly.
Fair enough. Okay, cool. But here's the thing: there's ways to make it interesting and actually make it better for not just yourself, your company, but your workforce. And
absolutely,
the people at ESPN, those 4 magic letters they got out there, it did wonders for Chris Berman. Okay, Chris Berman's one of the all-time greats when it comes to that. Him and Tom Jackson, whoever else.
Tom Jackson. They were the best for the 20 some odd years they did that and ran that whole thing. Exactly. In fact, sometimes I didn't watch football during the week just to see what Berman and Jackson were going to bring to you in the play, and whether Berman Berman figured this out. Berman knows he's not good, but he figured out a way to bring something entertaining into what he does to make him good. That was something he came up with. It wasn't like ESPN said, "Why would we make funny voices?" No, that was all Berman.
Look. Here's the thing. Berman looked at John Madden. He says, "Well, if his style can work, maybe I can add to that a little bit." Because John Madden, as much as we all love him and revere him as one of the all-time greats, you go back and actually listen to his commentary, he didn't tell you a whole lot.
But the insight of the things that he does opened up the game to a lot of people who didn't even understand it.
Exactly. And then the booms and there you go. And, look at the mud on that guy's jersey. I mean, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, that stuff we would be saying, So that's where, and Berman took that and went, well, I could just make funny noises with that now. Boom, boom, whatever else. And it worked. You know what? You always find a different way to make sports interesting for people who are not interested in sports.
Right. Exactly. You got to bring those people in,
because you've already got the people who are going to watch you. I always tell the guys in pro wrestling, whenever you're on the if you're in the corner and you're the baby face and you're waiting for the hot tag to get in there and your guy can't get over there, you have to sell to the people behind the front row to get them to get on top of you, so then go. And once you get them, I mean, don't everybody in the front row can see what you're doing. It's people behind them that you got to worry about, and it's people behind them you got to worry about. And then once you get all them engrossed in what you're doing, then you're going to get yourself over. You just got to be able to get past that first level. Look, as a heel, and by the way, let me just say this: I am even though my guy lost the junior heavyweight championship last night, which that happens. Look, I got to get my hands on Mr. Wobble. I was so happy. I woke up this morning. I mean, normally if we lose the title, I sit there.
I get sweet dreams last night.
Oh my God! I woke up going. I got that Philadelphia Eagle fan of him. I got to take my hands and just stroke the living crap out of him. So nice. I mean, no chair shots. Just getting my hands dirty and just knowing, boy, they were dirty after touch that wobble, motherfucker. But taking just stroke the living hell out. I'm probably sharing a bit too much here, really, when I think about this. But still, it's look, kudos to him. He is a junior heavyweight champion. I don't know if the 24/7 rule applies to him or not, but I do know this. The network has got some big things coming here soon. And I'm just going to say this now. The future's coming. And not him. Not that future. We already had him. But a different future is coming for the network. So...
Well, anyway. I need to get the clip of you strangling Mao. So once you find that clip, let me know. I would like.
Yes. I damn near turn it.
It'll be plastered all over the offshoot network. Girl back and forth.
Wait. I'm just gonna remember every time Wallace does something stupid, I'm saying this is why I had to do this to him. Every time.
Yeah. Every time. Yep. He won't be. He will never be able to live it down that it happened.
But listen. As much, the thing is, all I do is think about Carl Knight, and then I just take it out on a wobble. That's all I do. So,
well, that being said, of course, that's the name of the show. It's the last week of the NFL. That's regular season.
We went a full 18 weeks on this
without taking a break or whatever. Because sometimes either I get sick or something comes up, can't do the show. Didn't have that for 18 straight weeks. Here we are again. Even a move from me, we still got up on the show, look like a wreck in the back, but hey, we did the show anyway. Lots of free advertising for you all.
If you're watching the show right now, saying, "Why does it got 2 clocks in the back?"
Yes,
I mean,
yeah, and they're wrong too. So it's kind of funny. Well, this was the wife's office.
So can we really trust the words that we were hearing from Sonny Clark when the even time in his house is incorrect?
Yeah, something like that, right?
Just saying.
But just saying, yeah. But maybe one of these days I'll get up there and change the time and put them in a time zone.
Okay, film it so we can watch you do it.
No, I'm definitely. You don't need. You see enough of my fat ass. You don't need to actually see my fat ass.
On the bed to do it. We need the footage of you doing all that.
Not only that, the bed is nice and soft, so it's gonna sink.
You know what? Tell you what, Cuervo, Bryce, Obi, all you guys who want to come on the show and talk football, let's do a poll. Do we want to see Sonny Clark shoot a video of him going through changing the clocks? Do we really want to see that? I say yes.
Well, you can say everything you want, okay, but it's just not going to happen.
In first place, I will say everything I want. So
Mr. Bragg, you got to watch out for Cuervo. That being said, of course, that's the name of the show. In the bragging rights pick'em, there is one guy that actually has an opportunity to catch you. Okay, you're at 169. He's at 166. So he's got an opportunity, especially in this week. I mean, especially if you pick Baltimore, like my brother. Now I'm tied with him.
If you pick Baltimore,
I thought you were going to. I think that was one of the. And we were talking about that. Gosh, which one am I going to pick?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what I kept thinking. Was like, Baltimore's not really playing for anything. They've already clinched. They already got home field.
I can't.
Pittsburgh is still on the periphery, so I'm like, which is weird that the Steelers are still kind of in the hunt, but still, I mean, considering the year they've had. But I was like, I mean, and the fact that the Steelers beat Baltimore earlier in the year too, that's got a little bit to do with it as well. So I'm like, I'm gonna bite down, swallow hard here. I'm gonna say Pittsburgh, but God, I've had such a bad feeling about this week. only
Right.
because this is the week that teams that are going places are going to sit people. Teams
Yes.
that are going absolutely nowhere are going to sit people.
Absolutely.
So, like, what
The
do you
ones
do?
on the bubble, though, the ones on the bubble, we can probably see them playing balls to the wall to try to get it. By the way, I just want to let you know, sometimes I'm very, my wife says sometimes I'm very inspiring. And last week, I think I did
You
it
are
for the
Justin Dragon,
Pittsburgh
doesn't she?
Steelers. Last week, I think I did it for the Pittsburgh Steelers because not you want to talk about a team that got Najee Harris involved in the game, not just last week, yesterday, Najee Harris. Say whatever you want. They got him the ball. 26 carries, 112 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, so I'm just all I'm going to say is they must have been listening to this show, and realized that, man, if Sonny Clark can see it, God, we better figure it out. He's an idiot, and so the last 2 weeks we've seen Najee Harris do. Which, by the way, look at where Pittsburgh's at. They are now in a situation where they got an opportunity to make the playoffs. I mean, or they're depending on what happens,
Yeah,
obviously.
let's see who does this and who's that does that. When you got to rely on
Yeah,
others,
I
clearly
mean,
it's not a really good thing, but still.
exactly. Whoop, I put that in the wrong thing here. Hold on. So let me delete that and go here and put. Whoop, that's not even the right place too. I was going to put the play. I'm putting the playoffs. What the playoff picture, the way it looks now. Give me 2 seconds. And now this is a good thing about StreamYard. You can just zip it up and there it is. Boom. Here is the current playoff picture as of before yesterday. Okay, the way that it works.
Right.
So some of these numbers might change just a little bit, as far as that is concerned, with where the Steelers are. They may or may not be on the bubble. That'll all just depend on what's going to happen today regarding certain teams that they are fighting that battle on. But
Didn't Houston clinch yesterday?
I think
Uh,
Houston did clinch. Let
yeah,
me just.
I think they took Indianapolis' spot, didn't they?
I'm not sure. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. All right. So, and in this way, we can kind of get a quick look at it, and we're talking AFC, and especially where the Texans are. They are 10-7. Jaguars 9-7. Jaguars win. They win the division. So just to give everybody a heads up on that, how that works as far as that's concerned. The Ravens 13-4, but the Texans, as of right now, standing at 10-7, right now looking pretty good as far as making. They have not, as according to what I'm looking at, but then again, I'm looking at a regular one.
I heard they
Yeah,
clinched last night on the radio, so I'm assuming
that,
that
then they
because
probably did.
because as far as the AFC South, they won the South over the Colts because they knocked the Colts out of the playoffs, I think.
Yeah, and here's the thing: the Jaguars lose today. They gotta have like a situational thing for them to get in.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at the AFC North, the Steelers at 10-7, the Browns of 11-5, 13-4, of course, the Ravens, and they didn't play like they were going for it. But where it gets really interesting is where the Chiefs are at 10-6. Now 10-7, if they lose today, puts them in a weird spot, but at the same time, they're going to make the playoffs. But as far as what the Steelers did yesterday, a very good outing for this football team. They got Najee Harris started immediately as he got into the end zone for the touchdown. But then again, it could have been a totally different story if the Baltimore Ravens were coming to play like they needed this game. And I think there would have been a total different look at this game as far as that is concerned. What made it interesting yesterday when I was, kind of looking at things, and I didn't even realize there were no interceptions yesterday, but both teams lost 2 fumbles. So it got very interesting as far as where they were, in that game. And speaking of that, and I don't know how long he is there because I was looking at some other ones. Guess who is in the green room?
sucker.
I can always dig it, sucker, because of why it is Christ from Brooklyn. I mean, take a look at this guy. Now, every woman that's out there needs to look at this guy, because I'm going to tell you right now. Watch this. It's going to slide across. The best smile on the internet. It is Bryce from Brooklyn. What's up, my brother? Good to see you. And you got to feel good about your Pittsburgh Steelers, or do you look at that game as wishy-washy because we didn't get the Baltimore Ravens in reality?
Never. Why would I look at it like that? I mean, I understand that. First of all, Happy New Year to the podcast.
Yes, Happy New Year to you.
Hardest working man in sports.
Yep.
Always appreciate being on this show, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to come on the show.
Every week, anytime, any place. If you called Sonny Clark up and said, "Sonny, I want to do a show," then let's get it done. So you've got the floor.
I appreciate that. No, not at all. And the reason why I don't look at it as wishy-washy is, obviously the Ravens rested their starters, but it's AFC North football. And the best rivalry in the NFL, one of the best rivalries in sports, the game was going to...
teams might make the playoffs out of the four again. I mean, this is kind of a normal thing as of late.
And I knew it was going to be this type of game where regardless of who's playing, the teams are evenly matched in style and how they want to play. And styles make fights. So I knew it was going to be a hold on to your butts type of game because that's what it is when the Steelers and Ravens play. I'm surprised it didn't come down to a field goal and it was a 7-point game. So but credit to the Ravens. They showed up and played to win because they wanted to dash our playoff hopes. But credit to the Steelers for coming out and playing hard. And look, Najee Harris, like you said, showed up. Hey, listen, Najee Harris has always been
I think it got to him. They got my rant. They put it on a clip and sent it to the coach and said, "Hey, if this idiot over in Texas can figure out you're not utilizing Najee Harris right, why is this guy sitting on my sideline instead of you? Maybe we'll make the switch." So
listen,
I
26 carries, 5 catches, 31 touches total. The Jaylen Warren, who's been a good back, he was putting the ball on the ground. Had 2 fumbles. He effectively at the end of that game got benched.
Yes.
So they decided we're going to ride with Harris, and Najee with his ball security and with his running hard and catching the ball. He's been a menace for Baltimore to have to deal with. And
he's a menace whenever they use him and use him correctly as far as the timing of when they're going to give him the ball. Third down, this guy should always get a chop block off a guy, or not chop block, but a chip block, and then get out in the open and let him get that open field and let him create what he is capable of creating. And they have not done that at all this year. I mean, I've watched a lot of Steeler football. I'm sorry, they haven't utilized them. Finally, go ahead and do so. The team looks like a total different football team when they get Najee Harris going.
Yeah, absolutely. They were able to do that. He was giving the Ravens the business, and the Ravens played their starting front 7, and Pittsburgh was moving them. I mean, Pittsburgh right now, I'm not a fan of the center. They got to get a new center, but the other 4 guys, the pass blocking. But let me tell you, they will all they will stick their hand in the dirt. They will run the football. That offensive line will come off the football and hit you. And they got a right tackle that really is a left. They're going to move him back to left. And Broderick Jones next year, he has the makings of a superstar lineman. That team can run the football. And if you're not going to be prepared for a double chin strap game, Pittsburgh could be a problem. And they just had a little bit more than Baltimore did. Mason Rudolph, definitely his worst game out of this stretch. But he completed 90% of his passes. And
but interestingly enough, neither team threw an interception in that game, but they had each team had 2 fumbles lost in that one. I saw the stat line.
I mean,
obviously, when you're watching it, you don't even realize it, but when you get to it and go, holy crap, they did this, with 2 turnovers each in reality, and they were still able to do what they did. Listen, Hundley is exactly what he is. He's a backup quarterback, and he is not horrible in reality. I hope people don't get lost in him and think that he's another Geno Smith that can take over a franchise and go. And that's not bash on, because Geno Smith has, and I admittedly on this show, I've said Geno Smith is actually doing a good job. But then again, that's Pete Carroll. The Pete Carroll effect, believe it or not, I can't stand that dude. But he manages to find what is best week in and week out from their guy. Because listen, when you got, whenever the Seattle Seahawks can win a football game with Geno Smith at the quarterback position, and by the way, last year was a great year for him. This year, good. But guess what? Sometimes all you need is good, and obviously the Seahawks have proven that over the time. But I'll tell you, and I was putting this up here. This was the playoff situation on the bubble. The Seahawks are on the bubble with friggin' Geno Smith. Now, I don't expect them to make it, but then again, when you got Geno Smith as your quarterback, not backup. I mean, your guy. Somebody needs to whisper, and whoever is going coach of the year, maybe not because of all the wins, but man, with Geno Smith, you got to give that guy some props.
Well, yeah,
and I don't want to, but there it is.
Well, Sonny, just an adjustment. The Texans with that win last night are in.
That's what I said.
Yeah, they're in. So
yeah.
Now, so Pittsburgh, they did what they were supposed to do. And now,
yep.
They're 10-7 and they wait. It always
what is the scenario for the I don't know it because I didn't research it. I know you know it because you follow the team religiously. What has to happen on that left-hand side in order for the Steelers to slide up into that 7? Well, obviously you're looking at number 7 as far as the Colts are concerned. That makes a big change. Don't they kind of slide in there for right now?
Right. So 2 things. One, it's always good to get those brooms out in the regular season for the Baltimore Ravens. I don't care who's playing over there. So It feels good to get the sweep. 4 in a row, the Steelers have won in M&T Stadium. That's some nice ownage right there in that rivalry. So I like that. Mm-hmm. In terms of the playoff scenarios, this is why I'm on the show. This is what I want to get into. Here's what the Steelers need. They need either one of 2 things to happen. The Dolphins beat the Bills.
Yes.
Or the Titans beat the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow.
That's my my headline in my my subheader to my name. I right now become the biggest Titans and biggest Dolphin fan on the planet. I can't wait to talk about this Jacksonville, Tennessee game. This is why I'm here. It all comes down to this, Sonny Clark.
It all comes down to the last game. By the way, just so that you know, I don't do this very often. Okay. I actually was listening to a show where I like Tom McManus's stuff. I watch religiously. Okay. Because as much of a homer he is, okay, and as much as he doesn't, I think, see our point of view, he comes from a player's side. So he went on another show that I didn't even realize he was on, and what he was talking about, and there seems to be a love affair right now with the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Titans this week. And they're talking about the love affair. Everybody is around only 10 points for the Titans. And depending on who you listen to, and McManus is one, 24-10 is what he is estimating the game to come out to. Now, granted, this is all because of a lack of a passing game for the for the Tennessee Titans, and if you crunch down on Henry, you're going to probably be able. But here's where the problem comes in, and if it wasn't for McManus kind of stressing this out to me most of the years I've watched him, this game's going to be won or lost on the line. Okay. Now, granted, you can say that about any game, but when it comes down to a game you need, this is where you watch as far as what a team will do or a team won't do. And if you're not getting good line play, and that's both sides, but more on the offensive side of the ball, you can see a big difference on who can win and when. And it's more about when they win. You can do this all, week 3, week 4, where no one gives a rat's big fat butt. But when it comes to getting down to the nitty gritty into the playoffs, this is where those offensive line for the Jacksonville Jaguars has to come to play. And you can look at all the numbers and you can see everything that's coming. But if you can't get out of your own way, especially on third down, which is what Jacksonville's been having a lot of problems this year, it could get really bad. But that being said, of course, that's the name of that show. And we went on 18 straight weeks. Didn't even take a week off. But we kind of had somebody in Las Vegas last week. Yeah, this guy right here. He was in Las Vegas, we kind of listened in there, but there he is. It's the fine co-host of this program, Mr. Cuervo, and third has the best smile on the internet. I don't believe that. I don't know who's got number 1 and number 2. I want to know.
My wife is number 1, and Sonny Clark is number 2.
And who's number 2?
Sonny Clark.
Sonny Clark.
Yeah. Listen, you might be right on number 1, but number 2, I think you're. Thank you very much.
It's a tie between you and the Podfather. All I'm gonna say is Bryce knows why. He knows why. He thought I wasn't watching last week. He knows why. He knows why.
Yeah, hey, and by the way, it's hard to get on the internet and come up on this show in Las Vegas, which, by the way, you should not have even been watching this show. You were in Las Vegas, so you need. By the way, I seen you at the Bellagio. Where'd you stay last
living that life.
No, we stayed at the Link.
The Links. Got it. Mm-hmm. Got it. Nice place.
Walking around the Bellagio. My wife likes to go see how they have that area where they decorate. I can't think of what it's called, but it's like their
courtyard
or whatever it's called, where they decorate that whole area with the fountain and all that. So we that's why we were at Bellagio.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So did you walk away with money, or did Vegas get your money?
No, I got Vegas.
Wow. I never go. I think I've won twice, maybe going to Vegas, so it's just like.
I did enough to pay for the hotel, pay for meals. Yeah, so it was good.
All right. I normally don't do this because this is obviously something, but I don't get this. What the hell is? I don't. Anyway, I put that up just because it kind of made me chuckle. I don't even understand it, but it is what it is. Welcome into the show, I guess is what you said. But anyway, back to the Jaguar. By the way, we're just kind of eased into the Jaguar game because they got a tough game. They got to win today in order to get into the playoffs. It's a win you're in scenario, okay? And watching the Jacksonville Jaguars take away from last week, because they obviously played well. They did everything they were supposed to do last week. That 4-game stretch before that is really concerning. Why? Because of the fact that those were some tough-nosed teams that play week in and week out. Now, as far as the Jaguars, what they got to do. They got to beat a Titan team that is pretty much beat up. The morale is kicked the shit out of, and so I don't know what I'm very interested to hear what the Podfather has to say about the Jaguar Titan game, because he sometimes comes up with some of the craziest crap that I've ever heard. So I'm going to shoot it over to that guy right over there. Podfather, Trey Mack, what's your take up on the Jaguars taking on the Tennessee Titans? By the way, the game is in Tennessee.
Real quick. The Podfather does smile, but if he smiles at you, just know the brass knucks are coming next.
Yeah, sooner or later.
Listen, last night, after years of watching this one idiot go out to the ring and wobble all over the damn place.
His name is Mr. Wobble.
Yeah, I got to put my hands on him and choke the living hell out of him last night. It was so nice. I mean, I can just
we'll have the clip next week. We'll have the clip next week.
I will show and tell. No question there. Look, first of all, Sonny, you're burying the lead here. Cuervo said he voted yes. You got to wear shorts. Those clocks behind you are not even. You got to go up there and pull them off the wall. We all have I say yes. Cuervo says yes. Bryce, we need your vote. Do we want to have a video of Sonny going up there, changing the clocks off his wall?
With my big fat ass.
Yes. Okay, you sir.
Nice. And by the way, it ain't happening, so it is what it is. But no. And by the way, that's the reason why I don't have my background, because I'm still in the process of getting this set up.
Podfather, he also buried the lead, and he thought he was being slick, but we caught him. Let me tell you what else he buried. He said Jaguars win and you're in. What he forgot to tell the people was Jaguars lose and they are out.
No. Listen. You want to talk about a guy that has been down on his Jaguars? Listen, listen, I've seen all the experts pick the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I don't know why they are not worried about this game. And here's the reason why they need to be worried about this, okay? Yeah, they did it last year, but they did it on a streak at the end of the season where they were winning games and playing well. Here's the facts, okay? They are not playing well. You can sit there and say whatever you want. You can blame injuries, whether it's Trevor Lawrence who's hurt and they got to go to frickin' C.J. Beathard. And let me tell you right now, if C.J. Beathard has to play this game, by the way, Trevor Lawrence is literally a game time decision. Now, that being said, I don't necessarily believe that. This guy's going to play because of the simple fact of the matter is the playoffs are on the line, and I think he has to go in there with a broken foot, a broken leg for Trevor Lawrence not to play. But the question will be is how long will he be able to last if Tennessee can get to him? Now, Tennessee's defensive line is a pretty good defensive line. But that being said, shooting it back over to the Podfather, what is your take up on the Titans and Jaguars today?
Is it my turn to talk?
Yeah, we shot it back to you.
Because every time you're ready to talk, you start talking. You don't shut up.
Well, that time it was Bryce. That time it was Bryce.
No. Don't you blame him on the nicest smile on the internet. Don't you do that to him. Come on.
Yeah, gotcha.
Look.
Anyway, what's your take?
Shut up. Okay, anyway. Look, here's the thing. What was it you were telling us earlier in the year that Jacksonville does not play well at home, right?
Yes.
They're not playing at home.
I know.
So there's that. They are playing for something. Tennessee is not. Tennessee has nothing left to prove this year because they have nothing else to do. Okay? They can be the spoiler, which, quite frankly, that can very well happen in Tennessee. But I've watched Tennessee play, even at home. They're not good. They're not good. Jacksonville is a little bit better than they are. Just a little. Even with the quarterback, they can run the ball if they don't trust their quarterback. They can run the damn ball. I've got Jacksonville in this game, so mark this down. I'm picking Jacksonville. But
I'm sorry, we didn't hear you, Trey. We didn't hear you.
Okay. Well, that was in the back. No, I'm picking Jacksonville because of the fact that this is they have all their oars in the water for this one. Tennessee does not.
All right.
And Jacksonville's – the thing is, this year is based on whether or not Jacksonville can get to the playoffs. Okay? Ain't about the championship game. It ain't about the Super Bowl. It's about getting to the next level right now.
Yes.
They will get to the next level. It won't be enough to go past that, but it'll be enough to at least get them in the conversation for next year. And that's why this game is important today for Jacksonville. That's why they'll win.
Well, I got in chat, I got Brian Tarvin. I just asked him who he thought is going to win this game. So we'll wait for that response. I'll shoot it over to the co-host of this program. What's your take up on the Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans?
Oh, by the way, if anybody's got any questions about any scenario for any team, I've got all of it pulled up right here. So
where we go?
Any scenarios, I got you. Because I am the MVP of the show. Thanks to
Absolutely. There's no question. Duly noted.
So anyways, Jacksonville.
Well, he kind of shit on us, didn't he, Bryce?
Nah, Bryce knows I got a lot of love for him. All love to Bryce in Brooklyn. Nice win for the Steelers yesterday, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So, hey, I was telling I was so worried about that game too, because not knowing which Baltimore team was going to show up, if it was going to be the one that's going to be rested or the one that was going to be, I was betting on the idea that they were going to just, all right. I was betting on the idea that they're at least going to just sit their starters and just, they've already clinched, no biggie, right? And I was right on that one. So I was like, phew, thank God.
Well, look, no Lamar Jackson. The Baltimore is a totally different team. Despite the other talent they have on that team, they're just not the same team without Lamar Jackson. So, but going to the Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans. So, week 18 is so tricky, right, guys? Like we just don't know how teams are going to play, who's going to sit, who's going to play. Jacksonville, I think, is all hands on deck. They have to have this win, or else, like Bryce said, they're not going to get in. So that's how I approach looking at this game, as if it was week 10 in the NFL or whatever week you want to call it. This is just it. Yes, the playoffs are on the line. However, as far as guys being inactive, they're treating it like if it was week 10 in the season. So. With that said, if I was picking this game in week 10, I'd pick the Jacksonville Jaguars. Today, I'm going to pick the Jacksonville Jaguars just because I think that they're just a better team. That there's really nothing for me to break down in this game. Jacksonville's a better team, and they're going to do what they got to do to get in the playoffs. So,
look at this shill. Look at this shill.
Oh, yeah.
For once, he has pride in his team, guys. For once.
Hey. I gotta say.
It's custom made too with the show logo on it.
Yeah. And McManus's number.
Yeah.
And his name on the back, which I can't turn because I don't have my chair that turn I could show you. But.
Well, then we're not seeing anything, sir. You have to turn around, sir.
Well, no, I'm not going to turn around. Shut up. Yeah. I can make a stationary chair turn around. That's just good. Anyway, shut up. Bryce from Brooklyn. Your take? Listen. I still worry about the Jags in this game. This is not a gimme. Shut up. I already know your pick. Shut up. All right. So that being said, Bryce from Brooklyn, what is your take?
A lot of animosity this morning.
He's got the chair warming up, and I'm got the block ready.
I was about to rip into Sonny Clark for not having his jersey on. I'm being totally honest. And then right before I got to go give my opinion, he puts it on. So now he gets saved. I'm not going to rip into him for not riding and dying with his team with a playoff with the season on the line. So I'll give him his credit. That being said, which is the name of this show, one thing Sonny Clark forgot to mention in his analysis, division rivals. And over the years, the Tennessee Titans have always wanted a piece of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Always.
Mike Vrabel likes to play that physical style of football, even when they're not good. You saw him in that press conference last week. This is a guy who comes from cut from a certain cloth. He ain't about just laying down and losing. Like, we're just gonna mail it in, and they're just gonna win, and we're just gonna go off and like that guy would love nothing more, nothing more than to end his division rival season, particularly if it's the Jaguars. I don't think they like the Jaguars. There's still a lot of kind of left over from these past years when the Jaguars had that defense, but the Tennessee Titans always came ready to play against them. So I think my head wants to go with the Jaguars because I think they are the better team.
Mm-hmm.
The Podfather was right. I put my heart into it, and I've written it on my subheader. I'm going with the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, that was terrible. Crazy knuckleheaded terrible.
Listen, we have seen Sonny Clark's team as recent as the last 2 years wet the bed in the final game. We've seen it. That was against the Colts.
True.
Right?
Very true.
That was against the Colts, right? That happened.
Last year,
yes.
We have seen it. Trevor Lawrence, I think he may play, but I think he's a little banged up.
Yes.
I think the Tennessee Titans come out, muck this game up, and get that win, sending my Steelers to the playoffs before the Buffalo Bills even take the field in the evening. I'm going with
do they need both of those, by the way, Bryce, or just one?
Just one or the other.
Just one or the other. This is the game I'm going. I'm going with the Titans, division rival, style of play, styles make fights to get that upset. It's going to be tough because the Jaguars are stopping the run better than previous years when the Titans would just run them over. It was embarrassing. But I think they do enough to get the victory.
The only thing I worry about, is if they figure out how to throw the football in this game, that being the Titans. Because listen, the Titans are not throwing the football. Okay, all right. So and also just let everybody know they're 28th in the league in scoring, only scoring 17 points a game. So it is scary. The most scariest team on a football field is not always the team that is the better team. It's the ones that have nothing, literally nothing to lose. And that's what you're getting today with the Tennessee Titans. You're getting a football team who don't care if they win or lose, but this is the game they show up. There's a couple of reasons why they show up. Number one, it's the last game of the year. Number two, there are guys fighting for jobs, not for this year, but for next year, whether they're going to stay in Tennessee or if they're going to be picked up by somebody else. Noticing what they do on the football field, and it could be one play, it could be a combination of plays that they get picked up or retained, whether that be in Tennessee or someplace else. So that's why the Titans are a dangerous team this week, more so than it was earlier. Plus, they added on the fact of what Bryce said. You got a coach who's probably on his way out the door. And he would just love to stick it to a football team that is about ready to make the playoffs. Never mind a nemesis as the Jaguars. So you take down the nemesis on the way out the door, and you feel good about where you're going to coach next year. Because I got news for you. Mike Vrabel is going to be a coach next year, whether it's a head coach or a defensive coordinator. But I got news for you. This guy's going to be a head coach next year somewhere in the NFL. I don't think Mike Vrabel gets fired. I think Mike Vrabel gets one more year with Will Levis to turn this around. I don't know. I just the way this season has gone. Okay, spells trouble for everybody in the Tennessee Titans organization. But keeping Vrabel, I'm not against. I mean, I love me some Mike Vrabel. I know Cuervo loves him some Mike Vrabel as well. And so what do you think? Do you think they keep Vrabel next year, Cuervo, for Tennessee, or are they going to just clear it up and take care of business and get somebody else?
Yeah, I think for Mike Vrabel, and I think for a few coaches, and this year it's different than most because I think a lot of times teams already know what their plan is with the head coach before the last game of the season. This year, I think it's a little different, though. I think for guys like Mike Vrabel, even a guy like Antonio Pierce, who I think is on a he's trying out, I think, for the head coaching job, and if they can go to Denver today and take care of business, then they might consider keeping him. But I think for a few coaches, I think today how the team performs is going to determine whether they keep guys or not. And I think Mike Vrabel is one of them. So I see where Bryce is coming from. But if they go out there and they lay an egg at home, because I think the game's in Tennessee.
It's in Tennessee.
It is.
Yeah, but if they go out there and they lay an egg, then I think you see him with his walking papers. So
okay.
I just think it just depends on how today goes. I mean, because it all carries into the next season, and
right.
And
that's the Antonio Pierce situation too. If you just go back just a couple of years, that dude that filled in for when they decided to kick what's his nose to the sideline, and whether or not he could be retained to take over the next year was a big question. The name wasn't there per se. So Antonio Pierce, I think he's got a little bit more of a pull, and it's obvious he's got. I don't know if it means anything in Oakland or in Vegas when you got the team behind the coach. I don't know if that means anything. Look who's running that organization. I mean, so I don't know if that means anything to him. It might be the only thing that probably will get Antonio Pierce that job is that the players seem to rally around him. Plus, let's be honest, they've played better with Antonio Pierce as the head coach than they have, with the regime before. So it's like almost a 180. So that's going to be a very interesting. Tomorrow's Black Monday, by the way, and interestingly enough, that's a time where we see. But we've already lost 3 coaches in mid-season this year.
Yeah.
So which usually is Black Monday. Whether or not more are going to go is going to be the big question. So. Yeah, but big game for the Jaguars. Total different scenario than what they were doing last year. They had momentum. They don't have a lot of momentum. You got the win last week, so you got a little momentum. But those 4 games before that have scared me. Just as I predicted, I out of those 4 games, I missed one of them. I thought they should have been able to win one of those 4 games. But those were the ones I was worried about all season long as far as where they were going to go at that time. And are they pretenders or contenders? They're definitely pretenders. Yeah, I said it because I don't know if they can even get out of the first round. They're going to be playing at home, number one, which is not good for them. And depending on who they're going to get rolling in there, they could get rolled, at home in a playoff game. And that would be horrible for them as far as where the franchise is going for the Jaguars. So, interesting Titans. I like the pick. I get the pick, and it's not even a bad pick, but more so that pick right there for the Steelers to get in. So
I don't care. But listen, look. My head is saying Doug Peterson gets the team ready. There's so much on the line. I mean, if you're Doug Peterson, you cannot come out and lose this game.
Not this one.
But division rival. I mean, Ryan Tannehill is not great, but he can make the throws, particularly if the run game gets going and run the play action. Vrabel is going to have these guys ready. I don't think they're not going to come out there and just lay down against the Jaguars. They're going to come out there wanting to hit and make noise. And it's going to be a close game. And I think the Titans actually pull out at the end and send the Jaguars home.
If it is Ryan Tannehill from 2 to 3 years ago, the Jaguars are in a lot of trouble.
Can you get it for one game?
Think that one game he can pull he did 2 to 3 years ago, the Jaguars are in trouble. I don't care what it is. I don't care if he doesn't have a receiver that anybody can name off the top of their head. He will find them because 2 to 3 years ago, Tannehill was hitting guys and his quarterback rating was 106, guys. 106. There's just the year last year. If he would have been 106, he would have been the first quarterback to have a quarterback rating for 106 for 3 years in a row. That is how that's that guy. Now, if he shows up there, gets that 106, Jaguars are in trouble. But what needs to happen in reality, it's going to be, Jared Allen getting to the quarterback. He's got to get to Ryan Tannehill. If he doesn't, or at least make him sweat, there's going to be a lot of trouble for the Jaguars, because if they let Tannehill sit back there, he'll hit the open man. Anybody will. So watch out. It should be an interesting game.
We got you three on Jacksonville, me on Tennessee.
Let's see. So
and by the way, I want y'all to know something. At 51 minutes and 30 seconds, we have Bryce saying the Podfather's right. So just know.
What? Oh, okay. All right. So the pot. Lord. Oh, my word. In 51 minutes, right? In 51 minutes?
51 minutes and 30 seconds.
I said, listen, yeah.
We'll see. 51 minutes. Are you going to be here, Bryce, for that or no?
I don't know about 51 minutes, but I'm here now.
All right, so let's kick it in. Interesting.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
The other game we need to, if I have a request, the next game I want to go to, we have 2 games, Sonny, you pick. Let's go to the Bears and Packers or the Cowboys and the Commanders.
Well, I promised Cuervo that we would save the Bears to the end of the show. So let's go ahead and go to which was kind of the way I was going because of what's going on. But
how long we got you for, Bryce?
You know what? I'm gonna stay on a little bit, and I may not make it till 12 p.m. your time, Central Time, but I'm gonna stay on.
All right, okay. Let's do this. We'll go to the Cowboys, and then we'll wrap and do the Bears if that works within your schedule, Cuervo.
Right before Bryce leaves. How about we say
very good? All right, all right, very good. All right, so
the Cowboys, and then we could do Bills and Dolphins if that's cool.
Okay,
son. And then we can see kind of where we're at with the Bears.
Absolutely, we can definitely do that, as the Cowboys are in kind of. They're in the playoffs, but as far as going up against Washington, I mean, the Dallas Cowboys don't have a lot to lose in reality. As far as that is concerned,
you were wrong about that.
No. Okay, yes, they have a lot to lose, home field, but more in the fact that I don't expect the Cowboys to make it past the second round, maybe even the first round, because that's just what they do. Now, that being said, of course, that's the name of this show. But I'm telling you right now, the Cowboys, listen, Brandon Cooks, you want to talk about the diamond in the rough, right? I mean, this guy has come out and done what he does week in and week out. He has been that guy that has been doing it. But Dallas, as far as the Washington CeeDee Lamb didn't do much in that game, by the way. I was looking at the stats of the last time, and where was CeeDee Lamb? Well, that was, a thing. I don't know if we're not going to see CeeDee Lamb, what he did last week to this week, I think is going to be kind of an interesting take. So I'll shoot it over to the Podfather. What's your take up on the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Washington Commanders in Washington, by the way?
This is what I think they should do. Now, whether they'll do it or not is a whole different story. I never expected anything like that. Okay, good for you. But this is what I would hope they would do. They'd go back to what they did during week 1. You can take that down, by the way. But
I did.
When Dallas destroyed the New York Giants in the first 3 minutes of the football game, they need to do that in the first half with Washington, and then sit everybody. I mean, they need. This should be a game that Pollard. We find out if he has anything in the tank. Because they need to utilize the running game more so than the passing game, not put CeeDee Lamb out there to where he can possibly get hurt. I know we're playing, let's all be careful now. But let's face it, no CeeDee Lamb in the playoffs means no chance in hell of ever advancing anywhere. Okay? I think CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks together work very well together. They're tied in. Jake Ferguson is really good. Is he great? No. But he's good enough to where he can move the ball down the field. Home field advantage is going to be important for the Cowboys in the playoffs, one way or the other. Only because they have not lost in 16 games at home in the last 2 years. So that's why I think this game is important for them. They have to win today to clinch all that. If they lose, and then they better hope the Eagles lose. The Eagles are playing the Giants. Good luck with all that. So they have to win this game. Well, how far will Dallas get in the playoffs? I have no clue. Okay, I really have no clue. I don't think they're going to get past the 49ers. So I already don't have them in the Super Bowl. I don't know how they'll do, in divisional game and whatever else, or a wild card game for that matter. But I do know this: if they don't get to the NFC Championship game, and this is going to be a crime, by the way, Jerry Jones will fire Mike McCarthy. And that will suck because the man has gone 12. He's won 12 games, 3 straight years in a row. But because he couldn't get past the hurdle, he's going to be let go for a technicality. That's going to suck. Even if you don't like if you don't like Mike McCarthy, the fact is you cannot sit there and take away from the fact the man has won 12 games every year in the last 3 years. So it's a big game. It's a big game for Dallas, but it should only last a half. And be done with it, then put in your backups and run the damn ball, kill the clock, do what you got to do to end this game quickly so we can move on to the playoffs. I got Dallas winning, not by very big, but big enough to where they can be comfortable in the second half.
Cuervo, what's your take on that?
I don't like him, but I digress.
Well, when you're looking at it, I mean, I have the Cowboys. I mean, they should. Yeah, but we also get back to the fact this is what they should do, right? I mean, will they do it? Will they show up and put the 40 burger on them like they did the Giants in week 1 or the games that they played against very less talented football teams? This is the game where they need to go put a 40 burger on them, especially going into the playoffs, having that hype as far as that is concerned. But that being said, of course, that's the name of this show. When you see what you're talking about as far as McCarthy, listen, I thought they should have fired him 2 years ago. So let's just, he's lucky to have a job. And mainly because he had to suck up to Jerry Jones and that offensive coordinator for 2 years. Okay. So that being said, he gets the opportunity to do what it was. Now, last year, it wasn't with Mike McCarthy calling the plays. But that having been said, when you're looking at where they are and what they need to do in order to keep or retain Mike McCarthy, I mean, I don't know, Bryce. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing as far as the Cowboys' future is concerned. If they retain this guy and they don't do anything in the playoffs, forget 12-5. What do the Cowboys need to do in order for Mike McCarthy, in your opinion, to be retained for next year? Is it not win a game in the playoffs? Do they need to get to the NFC Championship game, which I think needs to happen, or they're going to let him go? But what's your take up on that when you're looking at the Cowboys coming from an area that don't have a lot of Cowboy love or a lot of Cowboy insanity that's going on from week to week?
The Podfather is a rare breed because he sounds like a very reasonable Cowboys fan.
He is. I'll give him that.
I've lived a life here. I know what this is all about.
Now, that being said, let me answer the question, and then I want to comment on something. Number one, I agree with the Podfather. If he doesn't make it to the NFC Championship, there's a good chance that could get him fired. Which Podfather brings up also another good point. 12 wins all 3 years. I mean, I don't think he deserves to be fired, but as Joe Sampson has written in, they don't have a good their front office. Their front office can quickly dissolve into a clown show because they've got the ringmaster as the owner, and he
certainly very positive.
Yeah, he peddles in a certain level of delusion that is saved for rich people. That's kind of like him. So that could happen. I'm not saying that it should, but I could definitely see that happening. Now, that being said, which is the name of this show, the Podfather doesn't get off the hook that easy. I don't want to hear anything about missing CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
If you have the team that you're supposed to have, yes, that would be a blow. It's time for y'all to get it done regardless of injuries. Championship teams are built from 23 to 53, not just 1 to 22.
Oh, you're right.
So I want to see who are the people that are ready to step up if you have those injuries. For this team that's considered a Super Bowl contender. If they weren't considered a Super Bowl contender, I would maybe be a little bit more lenient. But because they've gotten to this point, they have the coach, 12 wins. You got the quarterback. You've got the record. You've got the defense. Find a way to make teams play your style and win the games.
But the one thing they don't have, though, is they don't have enough backup in the way of receivers to cover for a CeeDee Lamb being hurt, though. Because Jalen Tolbert, he's not that. He's just a guy. That's the facts.
But Podfather, that's the thing. Like, I could agree with that, but I'm not going to let you off the hook with that because a big thing in 2023 and beyond now is your front office has to be able to account for the areas that you're weak in, minimize that, switch up styles. I mean, look, good teams have had to do that all year. Some do it better than others. It's time for the Cowboys to be held to a standard of no, we don't want to hear about your injuries. We want to hear how does the roster and the strategy overcome your injuries to win. That's the level that y'all are on right now. So, but
the one thing I will say about this game, I did say earlier, this needs to be a breakout game for Tony Pollard because if he's going to stay with this team for next year, he needs to show he can run.
He can run.
He did it last year. He did it until he got hurt. This year, he's still. I don't know if he's still recovering or not. I don't know how long injuries like that will last for a guy like him. But the amount of carries he's gotten this year, the amount of yardage he has actually accumulated, does not equal anywhere near a starting running back in the NFL.
Well, I will say he benefited from Smith big time. Because we said, and Cuervo will remember this because I was big on it.
Time out. From who?
Not Smith.
Emmitt Smith retired a long time ago, sir.
Elliott, I'm sorry. Just shut up. Pollard definitely benefited from Ezekiel Elliott. Sure. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. And Cuervo will attest to this. I said it all the time. When those two were on the same team, between the 20s is when you use Pollard. In the red zone, that's when you use Ezekiel because he was a bulldozer. And that form worked. And so when it to the point where they hold on to Ezekiel Elliott, it affected the way that they call offenses in reality. But between the 20s, I don't think anybody listen, go back and look at the film. Go back and see the stats. Tony Pollard was between the 20, unbelievable. He didn't have all of the touchdowns. That went to Ezekiel Elliott using the power. But Cuervo, I think a guy that I think everybody's kind of missing out is Michael Gallup. I think Gallup has got to have a big game. He's got to step up because there was a lot of promise for that guy to kind of be that number 2, which is the reason why they let their number 1 go. And his name slipped in my mind. He plays in Cleveland now. But that's Cooper. Yeah, Amari Cooper. When they they expected more from Michael Gallup to step up. And by the way, that guy's been a ghost. And you want to talk about a game he needs to show up in for Dallas? I think this would be a game.
You're right.
I
totally forgot about him because he's been.
Well, of course you did because they're not utilizing him. It's sort of like what they did in Pittsburgh, not utilizing the talent. But then again, that's got to be something Dak's got to be aware of more so than anything else. So Dak's got to find a way to get him the ball, especially when Lamb's going to be covered big time. They'll probably double him up, but I don't know. But Cuervo, what's your take up on this one as far as the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Commanders?
Well, I'll zone in on your Michael Gallup take there. There's a reason they brought Brandon Cooks in. You know why?
Absolutely.
Because they don't see it with Michael Gallup. He ain't going to be the guy that can step up for that offense, and that's why Brandon Cooks is a Dallas Cowboy right now. And Brandon Cooks, there's a good chance he's going to continue to be a Dallas Cowboy going into next season and the season after that. So, with that being said, yeah, you can ask for that, but you can also crap in one hand and wish in the other and see which one fills up first. So
fully agree.
You know, that it just Michael Gallup is he's just not going to be a guy that can be a step up type receiver. It's all about CeeDee Lamb and Bryson hit the nail on the head. It's about 23 through 53 and 1 through 22. That's the beauty pageant part of it, right? But what goes behind what's behind all that is what really matters. So, Cooks is going to be the guy that steps up for them. You can forget about Gallup
I'm just saying if you're gonna throw a curveball, that's how you do it. But what that guy said, which I hate to admit he was correct. Listen to this, okay? You got CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup. You're 1, 2, 3. After that, do we even know who Jalen Tolbert is? Well, I kind of do. Okay. Outside of me, I know personally who Turpin is. Okay. He's the indoor football guy. But has anybody ever heard of him outside of that? You know, but with his crazy return kickoffs,
he's had some breakout moments as a Cowboy.
As a special teamer, but not as a wide receiver.
Well, no. I mean, as a slot running back or whatnot, when they utilize him in their trick plays, I mean, it has been effective. Now, like I said, he has moments, but moments are not the entire game. So,
and then Jalen Brooks. I mean, you don't know the guys after 1, 2, 3, or even heard of them, which is a drop for the Dallas Cowboys. Because you need to have backup talent. It's one thing to have the new young guys coming in there, but you're going into the playoffs. You need guys that have been there, done that, or at least been close to it. When you don't even know these guys' names, your backup, you better hope your 1, 2, 3 doesn't go down because you're not going to get anything. There's not even a red herring there because no one is going to worry about them. But that comes with Dak Prescott. So, I'm on the Dallas Cowboys. Cuervo, who are you on in this game?
Yeah, I like Dallas as well. I just don't think Washington. Even if Dallas benched everyone, they still don't have enough to beat Dallas. I'm sorry. I mean, they just don't.
The only person I think that the Washington can win is going to be the coach of Washington because this might be a big FU to the team because if Washington loses, they get the number 2 seed in the draft.
That's true.
Whereas Ron Rivera say, I don't give a shit. I ain't gonna be here next year. So I mean,
kind of like what Lovey did last year.
Exactly, and that screwed that team up.
And interestingly enough, but interestingly enough, they this is a football team that I don't know if retaining Chico is the right thing to do or not per se. It's hard to kind of get started, all over again, but that's what Washington kind of needs to do. They kind of need to break it down. And with Magic Johnson,
they should be used to
part
it
of the
by now.
ownership
They do it every 3 years.
Well, I'm just saying with Magic Johnson in ownership over there, you never know what you're going to get. I mean, so interestingly enough, that's going to be game. And Bryce, who did you have in this one?
So I'm going to go with my head. I'm picking the Cowboys, but I'm going to tell you something.
Bryce is smart. So I replied back now after 1 hour and 19 minutes 54 seconds. Go ahead.
Listen. This game is going to be closer than you think. Another division rival. It's going to be closer than you think. But I think the Cowboys ultimately win the game. But it's going to be closer. I mean, they better win. You have an opportunity.
Absolutely.
You have an opportunity to come from behind and steal the division, literally steal it from the Philadelphia Eagles. All you got to do is I don't want to hear
2 weeks ago was horrible for the Eagles.
You go out and you get it done. Go win the division.
You know what?
Prove everyone wrong. Because I didn't think the Cowboys had any chance of winning this division at the beginning of the year.
This is what the Cowboys, there's what their mindset needs to be. Go in there, win this thing, win the East, get home field advantage for at least the first 2 games if they can. Hope to God somebody stomps this for the 49ers in the playoffs.
Yes.
Just so they get the home field game for the championship game if they even go that far.
Exactly.
And then we're talking about, is Mike McCarthy really the coach of this team or not? Because, I mean, a lot of luck has got to come into place. Because either way you look at it, whether it was the Eagles or the Cowboys, they both got shelled by the Niners this year.
Absolutely.
So do they want to have to go back to that again? Or do they want to hope in one hand, shit in the other one, see who's going to fill first, like Cuervo just said, and hope to God that somebody can stomp, whether it's going to be the Eagles or whoever it's going to be. If it's the Eagles, and the Eagles got to come back to Dallas, I like those odds.
Yeah, and right now with the way the Eagles have been playing, take away last week. Listen, this team has been garbage for the 4 weeks before. It's sort of like the Jaguars playing like dog crap in reality. But the difference between the Jaguars losing and the Eagles were losing, the Eagles lost bad football teams in reality. So that's the big difference in reality. But that's what kills football teams. So last week with the Eagles getting a fairly good win for them, getting it under their belt, they go into the last week and they need a win in order to try to stay, to get that home field first wild card game.
Dude, I wonder how much the Cardinal loss really plays a factor with the Eagles right now, because it hit the Cowboys early in the year. So I mean, clearly, it's been a thorn on their side. I can't imagine what that's into the mentality of Jalen Hurts right now, who's sitting there going,
absolutely, he looks defeated.
We had it all in 9 weeks. Now we don't.
I mean,
even at 9-2, they were doing well.
Right.
So,
I mean, the Cowboys need to get this done this week.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have to. Everything is in front of you. Now, that being said, obviously them playing at home is going to give them a better advantage, even though, Podfather, obviously we'll get to this when we start talking playoffs. There's a couple teams that you got to be leery of seeing. I don't think y'all want to see the Detroit Lions again, because they beat you that first game. I mean, you won the game on a technicality. We know, whatever that was with the refs. They beat you that game, and they play a style of football. You brought up a good point that Tony Pollard has not shown that he can consistently play. They're going to come in. They're going to go heavy personnel. They're going to have the different formations they run out of heavy. They're going to run right at you. Cowboys have shown they struggle when teams decide to get super physical. So certain matchups are going to be a problem, but you deal with them better at home than on the road.
Absolutely.
Right. But also, going back to the Lions game, I know all 4 of us here might have a different opinion about the actual end result of that thing. Regardless of what it was a hell of a game. They were definitely close on all levels for both teams. Look, Dallas didn't beat Detroit. Detroit didn't beat Dallas. It was a pick 'em at the very end, and then at the end of the day, it was Dan Campbell being Dan Campbell that lost that game. Okay, because all you had to do was kick a field goal. We go into overtime, and maybe they win. Maybe they don't. I don't know, but we'll never know that because love Dan Campbell. I wish he was the coach of the Cowboys. I really do. Okay, because I think he's got that mindset, that Madden mindset that we all like, that we all love so much, right? Just go for it. The hell with the tie, go for the win. We all want that in a coach, but it does bite you in the ass sometimes, and it bit him in the ass that we regardless.
And that's why he never worked in Dallas.
Maybe not, but but then again, he did play for the Cowboys, so we'll see. So
interestingly enough,
So
now
look. I'm excited. Today's a necessary evil. Today is a necessary evil for the Cowboys. They have to play it just to get through the day, and hopefully they do it the right way and can move on.
All it is about that check mark under the W for the Cowboys
but,
today.
Hey, look at the Steelers. They lost T.J. Watt last night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's always that possibility.
Yep.
So
especially in this game I don't know. The Cowboys need to be. The Cowboys need to step up and be somewhat of an image of what they were in the 90s, which is very hard to do. Obviously, the Super Bowl winning and everything else. But if they want to get a glimpse of what they can be, they need to go out and do what they've been doing against bad football teams all season long, go into the playoffs with rip roaring, momentum, which would, regardless if it's Washington, they need to have that momentum going into this playoff season. And if they go and lay an egg against Washington, that's just going to be horrible for them in the
playoffs. Dallas needs to go with the mindset of we have the better record than most teams in the playoffs this year. Let's play like we have the better record in the NFL. Because if you sit there and play like, well, we're still kind of close with them, because of this and that, that's going to defeat them every single time.
I agree. So every time. So it looks like everybody's up on Dallas in this one. They should win this football game, looking at paper and looking at records and everything else. But last week of the season, divisional games, Cuervo, we know how that game at the end of the season is each and every year, as far as that is concerned. So
Yep. I'll just say this for the Podfather and for the Dallas Cowboys. Here we go.
By the way, I heard that because normally I'm just BSing with my family I didn't even hear that all year. Evidently he's been doing, but last week I was watching the game by myself and that's all I heard. Like, here we go. Oh my goodness gracious.
I want to watch Dallas just to hear Dak do the cadence.
There you go.
I'm being serious.
Now,
here we go.
That being said, of course, that's the name of the show. We're going to switch it over. Buffalo, Miami. Now, it's been a rough week for the Dallas for the Dolphins. Okay, injuries are piling up. I don't know if Bradley Chubb is going to play. Jalen Phillips is sent to injured reserve. If so, he's not playing. Tyreek Hill's house caught on fire. I mean, they've been dealing with a lot of things that are not football. And I will tell you right now, when you see a Buffalo Bills defense coming at you, and Miami struggles right now, they've been well documented kind of all season long. Good here, bad here. Are they going to beat a good team? Are they not? Sort of like Dallas Cowboys, earlier, who they beat. And now, guess what? They roll up against the Buffalo Bills again for the second time in the season. Of course, last week, I love the fact there's so much writing on this game in reality, especially whether it's Bryce in Brooklyn or, where are the Dolphins going to line up in the playoffs? So that being said, shooting it over to Bryce from Brooklyn, what is your take up on when you take a look at Buffalo in Miami, by the way, as far as I remember? So, it is in Miami.
So let me acknowledge my bias. Obviously, this is one of the games we need.
Yes,
we need the Dolphins to beat the Bills. They do that, we're going to the playoffs. Here's the problem: it's not injuries. I'm glad Tyreek and his family up there are okay. I'm terrible to see their house catch on fire. It's not injuries. It's not Chubb. It's not the house. It's the fact that at the end of the day, the Miami Dolphins on defense are a soft bunch. And if you line up, you can play power football and run at this team, you can break them in the second half.
I agree.
At the end of the day, even though I'm saying go Dolphins, it's tough for me to say this. James Cook can run the football.
Yes.
When you got a quarterback like Josh Allen, they've settled him into this style of play, which is we're going to run the ball. And if they decide to run at Miami, I think Miami could have a little bit of success. But at the end of the day, I don't think they're going to be able to stop it, which can allow Buffalo to control the game. The pathway for the Dolphins to win this, if Tua plays, is you got to run up the score. You got to try to win a 40-38 high-scoring game because you got to play the strength, which is that offense. You got to try to get the ball into, I think you pronounce the name Arcane. You got to try to get the ball into the playmakers' hands that are super fast, run up the score, make this a track meet, play to your style. Because if you get into this game where the Bills can run the ball and James Cook can control it, then I don't think the Dolphins win the game. And so my pick for this game, if it doesn't get done if the Jaguars get it done, I think that might be it for Pittsburgh, because I think Buffalo is going to be too much.
Yeah, Bradley Chubb is out of the game as far as that is concerned.
So's Waddle.
Yeah, and I was just looking for Waddle. He's actually questionable as of this morning. Where are you getting the out from? And just asking that question.
I heard that last time on the radio.
Oh, okay. Well, as of this morning, the 7th, according to the injury list, Waddle is questionable. But they need a Waddle. That's the big part of it. Tyreek is going to be Tyreek, okay? He might not have as big as a game because they're going to pay more of attention without having Jalen Waddle in the lineup. But if you have Waddle in there, this can be a very interesting game. However, in that is when I was looking at the game and I was asking myself, who is going to be able to be, capable of stopping it? When you look at what Josh Allen has done this season, now, granted, he's not going to win the MVP. He's clearly a guy that has figured it out within the last 4 weeks compared to the weeks before, because we weren't getting the Josh Allen from the weeks before. Now, going into this one, so it puts a lot of really weight on Tua. So Cuervo, looking at Tua, looking at the fact they might not have Jalen Waddle, they do get Ramsey back. I heard he's going to play on the defensive side of the ball. So that's a plus for them if that knee injury can hold up. What's your take up on the Buffalo Bills in Miami?
Yeah, I think for a good part of the season, I would have picked Miami in this game. However, with how Buffalo's been playing lately, they're starting to get hot at the right time. Josh Allen looks like he's kind of gotten back on track. He's not turning the ball over as much as he was like in the middle of the season. And with the injuries that Miami has, especially on defense, with Chubb being out, Xavier Howard's going to be out today.
Yep.
Those are huge. Those are big time guys on that defense. And, Ramsey's going to have his hands full with Stephon Diggs. So that's gonna open up things for like a Gabe Davis and Kincaid at tight end and like Bryce said, I mean, how does Buffalo plan to use James Cook today?
Yes,
we're with Chubb being out, that opens up a lot of things for Buffalo's run game, screen game, short pass game. I mean, there's a lot of things they can do with a guy like Chubb being out. So I just think it's going to be too much for Miami to overcome. And I like Buffalo to win, just so everyone is on the same page. For Buffalo, they win the East. All they got to do is win. Okay. Now, if they happen to not win, they're going to need Jacksonville to lose to even have a chance, even making the playoffs. So,
wow.
Yeah, winning this game means a lot to the Buffalo Bills today. Even with the 10-7 or 10-6 record that they have right now, they've absolutely got to win this game if they want to get in and they want to secure.
Wow. Bryce from Brooklyn, and knowing I was looking at the injury list. Oh my God, the Dolphins looks like a mash unit, for God's sake. It is unbelievable compared to obviously looking at the other side. The injuries are not going to be an issue as far as Buffalo is concerned. The injuries may come into play for the Dolphins. This big game for both of them, and of course your bias and everything is going on. But when you look at the personnel that's not going to be out on the football field, how could do you really feel comfortable, maybe picking it? is this just a no-brainer based upon who may or may not be out on the football field for the Dolphins today?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's injuries aside. Let's just say Miami was totally healthy. I might be inclined to pick them, but the problem is if Buffalo with their injuries is going to come right at them and run the football with James Cook. I just don't think Miami is built to play a certain physical style of play, which, not to look ahead, if Pittsburgh was to get in and Miami found a way to win, I'm not saying we would win, but I'd like our chances playing them because the style of play that Pittsburgh wants to play, they're going to muck this game up and make it about physicality, which the Dolphins have shown they have an issue with. And so because of the injuries, everything that's on the line for Buffalo, I think they get it done. I'm going to go with the Bills.
Podfather, what's your take up on this one?
You know, it's funny because having all year listen as a Cowboy fan to listen to you and everybody else on the show, including myself, say that all the big wins
there we
Cowboys.
Go. There you go. I knew it was coming, so
anyway. All year long, all I've heard was how Dallas hasn't won a big game. They always play. They play teams that suck. So all their wins are somewhat hollow because the record is not what it really should be because of who we played. Well, Miami can say the same thing. Miami's big win came against Dallas. I mean that's just how that was. So with the injuries of Waddle, whether if he plays the game or if he can't play at all, I don't know if the house burning of Tyreek Hill is going to have any effect of it. But I mean, clearly that's deflating regardless of any way you look at it because now you're without a home. So I know he's got money to make up for that clearly, but he's got to restart all over. With the fact that the Bills, I heard this earlier this year, and the more I thought about it, the more it actually makes sense. Mike McCarthy, and I think even Bill Belichick compared Josh Allen to Brett Favre. And I'm like, yeah. As much as I hated Brett Favre, yeah. Okay. Yeah, back to me. But as much as I didn't like Brett Favre when he played, I'll give the devil his due. I mean, he was productive, and Josh Allen, he has ways to, have the season get the best of him. Then he finds a way to turn around. He's
Absolutely.
found a way to turn around this year. He does have a lot of interceptions, like Brett Favre had back in the day.
Yes.
And but that team rallies around him a lot more than you would think. And I think they have more to play for. If I'm just saying,
yep, they
have got a lot more to play for in this game than Miami does. And man, and also, don't get me wrong, Miami needs to win too. I know that, but Miami's got a lot of issues right now, and almost maybe one too many issues to fight through for a game of this importance. So I'm going Buffalo.
Cuervo, what is the scenario here again? I know you kind of went over it, but do it again because I got short-term memory loss here. Go ahead and roll. Shut up, Trey. Don't even. I'm trying to stop you before you even said it. But go ahead, get the scenario going again for me on this one. If Buffalo loses, they're not going to make the playoffs. If I'm not mistaken, is that correct?
Well, they would need. They would need to either tie against Miami or have Jacksonville lose.
Got it. Which in Bryce's world, that's going to happen. So we might not see the Buffalo Bills end up into the playoffs if you believe Bryce has picked up on that. And listen, I'm still worried about the Jaguars big time.
Sonny, quick side note: your quarterback is playing today. Officially,
they made that decision. It was a game time decision. Here's the thing. Okay, championship quarterbacks, regardless of the injury, because you saw what happened last week. You've seen CJ Beathard have to come into the game. But when you've got a game with this magnitude, you got to depend upon the guys that got you there. And say whatever you want about Trevor Lawrence. He's got his deficiencies. There's no question about that. But he's 100 times better than CJ Beathard. Even injured, he's better than CJ Beathard. You got to go into this game thinking it's a playoff game, obviously, because if you don't win, you're not going to make the playoffs. So putting that into play, as far as the Jaguars are concerned, there's no other scenario for them. They lose, they're not in. So, and this is a game that they've got to show up and bust it out as far as that is concerned. So, that being said, of course, that's the name of the show. We got the ones that we wanted to, except the last one, and we're going to bring it in because we don't want to lose Bryce up on it. The Chicago Bears are in action. This one here, I'm glad it ended in reality with these two teams meeting at the end of the year. Regardless if they're good, bad, or indifferent, this is what, to me, it used to be week 17, now week 18 is all about. I think every year it should end Bears Green Bay, and with something on the line in reality. In this case, it's Green Bay's playoff chances that are going there. So, by the way, and listen, the Bears aren't a good football team. We kind of know this, but I think DJ Moore getting snubbed, and I'll say it, snubbed from being an all-pro just really is a miscarriage of justice in reality. We know the Bears aren't good, but that guy's been dynamite for them all year long. He's going to get the money that he deserves. So, Cuervo, this is the game. This is, the end of the year. This is the ugly green uniforms going in to take on your Chicago Bears. But here's the thing. The Bears are on the road, so they're doing this over in Lambeau. What's your take up on your Chicago Bears going into Lambeau against the mean, ugly green uniform Green Bay Packers?
Sonny, I'm requesting to pass it off to someone. I'm going to go last.
Okay.
I've got something a little special.
Got it. All right.
I'm going to address the team. I'm going to address the coach.
Okay.
And I'm going to address this guy right here. So,
okay.
That being said,
he's just pissed off. He paid a lot of money for that jersey, and they're just going to get rid of him, and that's what it is. But but I don't know. But
so here we go. I can't even finish what I'm saying, and he's already taking chair shots. My God.
Sorry. I have to do that because when it comes here, I got to say it because I might.
Y'all blame me
and
for
that was a good
chair
one.
shots, really.
so he's in Brooklyn.
Justin's not going anywhere. All right, because I got some for By the time I'm finished addressing the team, I'm gonna have my goal is for all of you guys. You guys are gonna be ready to run through a wall.
Oh, wait, Cuervo, should we strap in?
No, just get in your 4-point stance. Right. Run through the wall, baby.
Not 3. He's doubling up. There you go.
For this moment.
So, all right, Bryce, go ahead. Knock this one out. Looking at Bears in Green Bay. Lambeau, obviously, the football gods. You live there. So, what's going to happen when you take a look at this as Green Bay is fighting for a playoff spot?
Bears and Packers. Wait a minute. And this game, hold on. Let me double check. This game is in Green Bay. Look,
it is in Green Bay.
Listen. Packers 8-8, Bears 7-9. I mean, records are a lot closer than you would think. This is. I love these type of games, man, and I love Week 18. There it is. You got the hat on. I love Week 18 because rivalry games are what it's all about in the NFL. I love that they went to this permanent format. I'm kind of like you, Sonny, of having rival division teams play each other.
Week 18's got to be that way every year.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is another scenario for the Green Bay Packers. You win and you're in.
Yep.
And you lose. And that's it. You're at home. Oh, look who showed up.
Yeah, he's made it. He made it.
So you're at home. The Bears defense still makes me very, very nervous. There are times this year where you look at the Bear defense and you're like, they're getting after it. And then there are times where the consistency is just not there.
Fourth quarter. sorry. I should have muted. I'm sorry.
There he goes, Cuervo. Cuervo's just still. He's not. You can't deter him this week.
You see the smoke coming from outside.
Exactly. He's gonna snap. And then you turn to the offense. It's like, you know what it is? It's like they got DJ Moore, just a tremendous playmaker. It's like you watch the Bears, and it's like something is there that's ready to break, but not quite there yet. And I think what that is system and coaching.
Could be.
I think the Bears need to take that next step, whether it's with a new coach, new coordinator, what have you, someone that's going to really believe in Justin Fields and build an offense around this guy. Because I think if you do that, you've got a quarterback, and I said it when we played him in 2021. That guy is a guy that's got talent. They need to be building around him. Sonny, you've been dead wrong about this. I think they need to not draft a quarterback, go in and build around Justin Fields because the talent is there, and he can make the throws, and you got to put the weapons around him. Blasphemy. That being said, that's the name of this show. Cuervo, you know you're my guy. Love you, man. I just think the Bears just have not put it together this year enough to get to 8-9 and just be a little bit below 500. I think the Packers at home with something to play for. I know that defense is also shaky, so I think this is like a pick'em game. I just think being at home, the Packers remembering what happened to them last year, I don't think they let it happen this year. I think the Packers get it done, send the Bears off in a close game with a loss for him to go 7-10.
All right. That being said, I'm going to bring in Obi-Wan. Welcome into the show. Let's get you quickly on this one as we got a State of the Union or the State of the Bears coming here from Cuervo. What's your quick take up on Green Bay and the Bears in Lambeau, home of the football gods?
Okay, I got a question before I answer this. Cuervo or Sonny or whoever. So if the Bears win the game, where are they drafting? Are they still drafting the same spot?
Number 1, because they got Carolina's pick.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, then that's going to change my pick. Bears are going to win today in a close game, and they're going to draft Marvin Harrison. You're going to have DJ Moore, Marvin Harrison, and Justin Fields next year. Say, okay, you got the weapons. You got 1 year to prove to us that you belong here. I don't remember if I said it last week or Bryce said it last week, but I truly believe that that's what's going to happen. So the Bears will win today. It's going to be snowy, not real snow, just light snow. But I think the Bears have enough, just enough to win. And Jordan Love Jordan Love will make a mistake at the end of the game, and it's going to be over.
Well, that being said, I'll shoot it over to this guy right here. What's your take before we get to the state of the Bears? State of the Union of the Bears. What's your take up on this one as the Green Bay Packers? Say whatever you want, man. That's a hard place to go in and get a win, regardless what the situation is. Now you get a chance to knock them out of the playoffs if you're the Bears. What's your take?
Well, considering the fact that Green Bay has clinched play or has a chance to at least be in. Well, they're on the list of being like if the playoffs start today, it'd be Dallas and Green Bay, right?
They have to, but they have to win.
They have to win. Okay. If they don't win this game, they're not in the playoffs.
So basically, they got something to play for.
Of course,
absolutely.
What the Bears got to play for?
The Bears have
to knock out their heated rival for the last 104 years. They can't stand them, and they get them twice a year, and they hope they kick them out.
So they're hoping to go into Green Bay to take on the team that has to win to go to the playoffs.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
To be the spoiler, pretty much.
Yes, and they will love it.
That's a good story. That's kind of where that stops. Really, it's a good story. Okay, because look, I don't trust Jordan Love. I don't trust him at all. But when I don't trust him, he does well. When I do trust him, he doesn't do well. So
you should trust him today.
I probably should.
Yep.
But since you and I are neck and neck on our picks,
yeah,
and this can pull it away or bring us closer together, however you want to do it. I'm because I know who you're picking. I'm gonna go Green Bay.
Wow.
Because I really do think that Green Bay has somehow or another, Green Bay has found their way to bring Jordan Love into their collective now. I mean, the entire city has found a way to sit and go, we trust him enough right now.
Mm-hmm.
I may not work next year. We'll see. But they have enough to trust him right now. And that's a lot saying that they didn't trust him at all after week one.
This is true.
So I think there's going to be some momentum. They need to get this game to have any chance to come to Dallas and beat Dallas. So I think for this game, Cuervo, I applaud you, sir. And you are a great rival when it comes to the picks. But this is where we're going to differ. I'm sorry, buddy. Just how it's going to have to be. But, yeah, give me Green Bay.
But
here's one more.
Sonny, before you go, because I know you have to pick yours, I also want to say, because you brought up Black Monday, if Matt LaFleur ends up going out again to a division rival on the final week of the season,
he's out.
He could be on the hot seat.
Absolutely.
There's a lot riding.
No, he's gone.
Even with the young quarterback,
he has to win this game.
You brought along okay.
Speaking of which, are we not doing a Black Monday show tonight?
No, if we do it, it'd have to be 8:00 Central tomorrow.
Okay, I won't be able to make it tonight.
So
I was curious.
Yeah, it's the only time I can get there. But
that's a name to watch. The Bears end up losing and going out again to a division rival that was not set to make the playoffs, but knock them out of the playoffs. Matt LaFleur could be looking at losing his job, which would be wild,
agree.
But that could happen because you got a young quarterback. He's only been in the system. He's been in the system for a few years. You might decide you want to go another direction because you believe in Jordan Love, but don't believe Matt LaFleur can coach this team to where they need to go.
I was saying, that's exactly where I was going to go because LaFleur will be done. They're not going to keep him. They got to win this game to get into the playoffs. And not only that, I think they have to have a pretty good appearance in the playoffs to keep LaFleur. This guy's been on the hot seat since Aaron Rodgers left, and that's the only reason why they had him is because of the relationship. So watch out for that. Now it is time for the state of the Chicago Bears.
No. Your turn, Sonny.
Your turn.
Your turn, Sonny.
You already know who I'm picking. I told you. I already told you who I am picking. I am picking the Chicago Bears I'm picking the Chicago Bears to play spoiler today because I don't think that the Green Bay Packers have it in them to win the most important game of the season, which is to knock out the Chicago Bears.
Hit Green Bay. Don't back out now. Don't back out now. Pick Green Bay.
I told you yesterday I was picking. Or maybe it was the day before. I think I told you. I told you the day before.
You never.
Wait. I didn't.
Hold on. Maybe I'm.
Let me pull this up here because I could have swore I did.
Well, I do remember is you made that silly comment about this game being the Super Bowl.
This is the Super Bowl for the Bears. This is
you said let's 18, go Bears, but that doesn't mean you're picking the Bears. All you said was
okay. All right, I'm going the Bears. I'm going the Bears. I think that they're going to win this game. I do. I think they're going to play spoiler. They're going to love the fact this is the 105th year that they've been doing this back and forth, and these guys hate each other. And this is an opportunity. Yeah, the Bears don't have anything to lose in reality, and that's what makes the Bears dangerous today. I'm not saying they're the better football team in reality, but when you got nothing to lose and you got Jordan Love who's never been able to prove it, that is why I'm going to the Chicago Bears. I don't think he has enough to get it done. He is not Aaron Rodgers. He does not have ice in his veins. He is a guy that will drop the ball at the most important time, and that is why I'm going the Chicago Bears. So I am going Bears. So I'm sorry, I messed up. I might have messed up his talk in reality. Did I mess up anything for you, Cuervo?
Well, I just thought you were gonna pick. I thought you were gonna pick the Packers because that's what you normally do.
Pick the Packers. No. So that being said,
Packers.
That being said, let's bring him on. The state of the Chicago Bears Week 18 against the Green Bay Packers. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is the end of the season speech to coach, to my quarterback, and to the whole team.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
is there he's ready.
Gentlemen, you guys are more than welcome to get in your 4-point stance because when I'm done, you're going to be ready to run through a wall. Right?
I muted him. I muted him. I had to get him the hell out of there. Go ahead. I'm sorry for the interruptions.
Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. All right. I'm going to address Coach Eberflus first. Coach, if you're watching, I know you're watching because you love the Couch Potato Sports Show, and you love watching that being said.
Yes.
Coach E, you've gone through a lot of criticism this season. All right.
Mm-hmm. Rightfully.
There's been a lot of ups and downs.
Yep.
Season didn't start off well. You lose to the Packers with the high expectations that the Bears had, and you go out there and the men didn't look prepared. The boys did not look prepared. Okay. Fast forward a little bit. We go to games like Tampa Bay, and then we get demolished by Kansas City. That was expected. Okay. And then I take my wife to come see you in person, and you go a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter. I was really disappointed, and I was ready to kick your ass to the curb right then and there. Okay. But then Washington comes, Dick Butkus, rest in peace. He passes away hours before the game, and you guys go out there and you play inspired football, and you go out there and you win that game. Okay. And that's where the change started to happen, where we started playing more confident. A couple more games got blown, and I was ready to kick your ass to the curb again. Mm-hmm. But then you got games like Detroit. Okay, you go and you beat Detroit, and then you beat teams that you're supposed to, and that's what you're supposed to do. You go out there and you beat Atlanta and you beat Arizona, and it all comes down to today. Coach, if you want to stay in this city, you got to understand nothing means more to guys like me than to win this game today. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters unless you win this game tonight. And if you win this game tonight, and if you have a good lead and you find a way to win this game, we'll see you next year, Coach. My question is, do you want to come back? Do you want to build something special in Chicago that Ryan Poles is building? And nobody else sees it, especially that guy right there, the host of the show. He don't see it. You don't see it. But, yeah, exactly. And he wants you out the door. So, say to that, Coach, you win this game tonight, nothing else matters. You're coming right back. Don't even think about cleaning your locker out because your ass is staying here. All right? So that's the code. Next up.
Justin Fields.
Sorry.
Wow, Sonny, really? I'm in the middle of my state of the day.
You can't expect anything less, really.
It was for both
Yeah,
of them in reality, but yeah, go ahead.
I can't expect much out of Sonny Clark. Anyways, all right, this guy,
Right.
the Ohio State product, as Obi puts a smile on his face as I address him as Justin Fields. Justin, everybody's ready to ship you out of Chicago. Everybody's ready to see you go. Mobile quarterbacks can't get it done. You can't win games in the fourth quarter. You blow too many. You can't read coverages. All you do is run. You're a running back. That's what people are saying about you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you think of yourself? I know what I think. I think that you can be the future of this franchise.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Absolutely, there's a big chance. But again, it all comes
Awesome.
and Justin understands what this game means because he is one of the first things he talked about after he got drafted in Chicago was beating Green Bay. He gets it. He knows. He understands because he knows what it's like to play rivals. Okay, that team up north, right, Obi? He knows what it's about. He knows that there's rivals in football, and we can sit here and it's just another game. We're just focused on winning. The hell with that. There's more to this game. No. It's Green Bay. He gets it. So if you want to stick around and you want to build something special, then I suggest you guys go up there and you win this game. And I know you will. And I'll see you next year, Justin, because you're going to be my quarterback. You're going to be our quarterback for the future. And you're going to get us to a Super Bowl one day. Mark my words. All right? Now, for the rest of the gentlemen.
Wait a minute. I got my hat, my helmet, and my pads on. I'm ready to go.
Gentlemen, the definition of legacy, the long-lasting impact of particular events and actions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Tonight is not a Super Bowl. Today is the beginning of what is to come in Chicago. When Ryan Poles got hired, he said he was going to take it to the north and never give it back. That starts today. It starts today.
What?
When you go up to their house and you knock them out just like Detroit did last year, this is where everything that happened before, we can forget about that.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight is where it all begins. Rolling into next year, and what I'm gonna tell you what the Bears are gonna do. They're gonna keep Justin Fields. They're gonna keep Matt Eberflus. Luke Getsy can go. I've had enough of him. He can go. We need another offensive coordinator. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Fields stays. We trade down from number 1, maybe to say number 3 or 4, and we still draft Marvin Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
We still draft him, and we get more picks, and we build this team even more than what everybody thinks is going to happen. So, legacy begins tonight, gentlemen. You knock Green Bay out of the playoffs, it changes the history of the Chicago Bears for the next 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to change history, you go out there and you win that game tonight, boys. Who's with me?
The Bears are who we thought they were.
And Green Bay is going to beat Cancun on 3. So let's go. So who's ready to go?
I am so with you, Cuervo. I am so
That was
with
an
you.
all-timer right there.
Yes, that was.
Hey, Sonny,
I hope we got this recorded.
I'll say, look, first of all, Cuervo, good job. That's the same great motivational speech you gave us during week 1. When the Green Bay Packers beat them 38-20.
There's a chair shot. Get you the time, turn your back.
This is total BS.
And pin you for the 24/7 championship.
I mean, I was inspired. after your speech on week 1, I was ready to bite down and swallow hard. Said the Bears are going to do it this year, and they came out and they lost 38-20 opening weekend. So,
wow.
Coincidentally, they play the same team on week 18. So, good luck with all that.
Wow, that's
it's all about.
That's all right.
Cuervo.
Look, if you want to live the glory days of the Dallas Cowboys, Father, go get your VCR. Okay?
Got fired.
So I got YouTube now. I can do that. So look, I can stop and start anytime I want to. Look, here's the thing.
Wow.
Look, I love it. I love the passion you have for the Bears. I love the fact that you says the curse of Aaron Rodgers is gone. We're gonna take the Packers back to where they belong. All the stuff that you said week 1, by the way, and this speech no different really. And you know what? Hey, I like Justin Fields. I think they can win with a running quarterback, Sonny. So
How dare you say such a thing? That is insanity.
boy, him and his toys. But anyway, so I do like where they're going. This year was a lost year. We have those every once in a while. Even the Cowboys had a ton of them. So I mean, clearly, this year was a learning experience to see what they have because they're going to cut. They're going to cut a lot of things away in the offseason to get better. But I don't think they're going to do it tonight.
Well, I think the real question, Cuervo,
the first one I'm coming at when they win. You're the first one I'm coming at.
Yeah. That being said, Cuervo, is Marvin Harrison the guy they need to go after, or is there another guy that you should go after? Listen, I know who Marvin Harris is, Janae. I do. Okay, Junior. All right, Junior. But is there a different guy they should be going after at wide receiver, Cuervo?
No, actually, if you want me to be honest with you, I don't know that they should take a wide receiver. I just said it to hype myself up. but I actually think I actually think if they draft that left tackle from Penn State, that actually might be the best pick for them with their first pick. Look, and there's nothing against Harrison. I got nothing against him. I just think that the wide receiver draft, the list is long, and it's a deep class of wide receivers. So even if they don't go with Harrison, you got Neighbors from LSU, and you got Coleman from State, and you got there's a few guys out there that they can go with.
The trio from Washington, all of them.
Yeah, any of those Washington receivers. My God, I mean.
Yeah,
it's a deep class of receivers.
Brian Thomas from LSU is also in the running up there. I like him.
Cuervo, to your point, I was with Obi. I think he got a little ahead of himself, or his Ohio State bias came out. The draft nerd in me is kind of a little bit like running backs, like very leery to take, as talented as Harrison is, a little leery to take a wideout that early with the number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you better that guy has to be Calvin Johnson immediately if you take him number 1. There can't be
there's no question he needs to be that guy.
So, and I don't know if that's Harrison's profile, because he's not the physical. I think he's gifted, but is he the physical freak Calvin Johnson is? I don't know about that. So yeah, so I think, but trading down, getting picks, taking tackles, committing to the run game, committing to it for your quarterback, you can get a lot of weapons and put things around him. So yeah, I like that strategy.
I would actually say the biggest need that the Bears have on the offensive line is a center. I mean, they're just completely like that position right now is such a big hole. Like Lucas Patrick is just a guy filling the spot right now.
Right.
And, Doug Kramer, who they drafted from Illinois, it don't look like he's gonna pan out. I mean, he's been hurt 2 years in a row now,
right?
And he's been in the NFL for 2 years. He hasn't really played for the Bears, so he might be a casualty, cap casualty come off season. So, But yeah, I think center, but I think they'll address that in free agency. I don't think they're going to try and draft unless
they're
unless
drafting too high for that.
Maybe later on to address 23 through 53.
Right.
Maybe you draft the guy later. But I think free agency, they're going to go after a big fish as far as centers are concerned.
Keeping it real.
Yeah, center is so important, but they might be so high up in the draft that they're not going to be able to get to that space where they can draft a center. You don't want to draft a center top 10 either. I think that's too high.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, for that position. They're in a very unique position. Look, they have an opportunity to be an 8 and 19 pick with the number 1 pick.
Absolutely.
And then you've got media gas bags like Sonny Clark talking about take your number 1 drafted quarterback and just get rid of him with no plan because he's a running quarterback and can't play. But you're 8 and 9 right on the cusp, so they're in a very good position.
I'm looking at a mock draft right here for next year, and I know mock drafts are not worth anything. But one guy says here that while Justin Fields is playing the best football of his career right now, that he's in prime candidate for being traded to get some further draft capital. And in doing that, they go after Caleb Williams at that point, and that makes Marvin Harrison Jr. fall all the way to number 4, Arizona. So
if the Bears draft Caleb Williams, they're stupid. Just period. That kid is overhyped.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
He's not worth a first round draft pick. Period.
But I think the interesting thing is though that they got Marvin Harrison Jr. dropping to number 4 for the Cardinals.
Oh God.
Well, yeah,
that'd be great for the Cardinals.
This is, I think right now we've reached the Obi bias segment where it's like Marvin Harrison going number 4 is not a slight to Marvin Harrison.
I didn't say that. I said, oh God, because he's going to the freaking Cardinals.
Well,
that's
why. That's like a
because that's a fit like me and a diet soda. Okay,
you're being a prisoner at the moment because while they've been bad this year, their quarterback has been hurt, and they've gotten better when the quarterback has gotten back because they have a guy that can play the position.
Wait.
Kyler Murray.
What?
Kyler Murray. I want to make sure.
What have you seen from Kyler Murray that says he can play the spot?
I want you to get this on the show. I've told many people. I continue to tell my nephew he has a man crush on Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is a quarter. It says something when the Cardinals sign him to a stupid ass contract and put it in his contract a clause saying you must spend this many hours studying film.
Fair enough.
He's a quitter. He quit on his team 2 years ago in the
4 hours. They were only asking for 4 hours a week.
He's a quitter, and I just think that's why I don't want Marvin Harrison. Yes, I'm going to be Ohio State biased. Marvin Harrison, I don't want him to go to the Cardinals because that's freaking Death Valley. The ownership and the management suck. They've sucked ever since they've been here. They got lucky when they picked up Kurt Warner, and Kurt Warner took them to the promised land and took them to the Super Bowl and should have won the game, but they decided to play prevent defense.
No, he should not have won the game. You tried to be slick and put that in there because your Brown's blood couldn't allow you to just let it go.
But I'm not under pressure. I'm just saying. Yes, my Ohio State bias does come out. I don't care if Marvin Harris is not drafted number 1. I think that's where he's going to go, but I don't care if he's not. I would not be surprised if the tackle from Penn State gets drafted number 1.
Okay.
That kid is a freaking beast.
Okay.
And he's athletic. Now, I said, oh my God, because I don't want Marvin Harrison coming to the Cardinals. Because Kyler Murray is a quitter. And if they get rid of Kyler Murray, which I cannot see the Cardinals shitting themselves and dumping that 200 and whatever else contract that they have. They're going to keep Kyler Murray again. He's going to come here, and Kyler Murray is going to do Kyler Murray things. And just, I wouldn't be surprised to be, out there, I'm surprised he hasn't quit on their freaking team this year.
What?
But
we just say it. Kyler Murray sucks.
He does.
Say it.
I'm not saying he sucks. He can throw a pretty ball. He is most dangerous when he scrambles and he's throwing on the run. That's when he's most dangerous because defenses don't know, is he going to run or is he going to throw? That's where he's dangerous. Caleb Williams. Let's go back to what the comment was. Caleb Williams. They're going to draft Caleb Williams. If the Bears draft Caleb Williams, Cuervo, I will come on this show every week and next year and say the Bears are idiots.
Well, I'll say it too. I'll say it with you. And allow me to repeat myself again, Podfather, because I have the right to repeat myself as many damn times as I want. No thank you.
Because he is the co-host of this program.
It's a spicy show today.
No, I want no part of Caleb Williams. I want no part of Drake May. I want no part of any of those quarterbacks. I want offensive linemen. I want defensive linemen. And I want, and then maybe a receiver. Okay.
Right.
But build the lines. I don't care how old school it sounds. It still works.
Yeah. Sonny, stop. No one wants to hear you say yes when you've been blasting the quarterback all this time, talking about trading, getting rid of him. You were one of the ones, the media gas bags. I'm gonna say it again, talking about get rid of the quarterback and draft
absolutely
or trade him. So you don't get to say yes right now when he's talking about offensive linemen and sound draft strategy.
Well, here's just what I know. Not what I think I know, but what I know. This is a football team that doesn't win football games, okay? That's just the legit. They got 7 wins under their belt by
How many did they have last
year?
How many did they have last year?
I get it. Hey, pick the Bears to win your division.
It don't matter. How many did they have last year?
Well, they had 3 last year.
And how many they got this year?
They got 7. Hey, congratulations. You're going to miss the playoffs again.
The arrow's going up, baby.
I hope so. But I listen, as much as I'm going to blast Justin Field, okay, and we say it on the show all the time, who else are you going to get? I get why you think or hope that he could be the guy. But at some point, I mean, really, when I'm looking at the Chicago Bears, I don't see Justin Field as the future of this team. I see him as a backup for the Chicago Bears and bring in a real quarterback because they don't have one right now. The guy cannot throw the ball down the field accurately. We could sit and argue that all day. I watched it on Red Zone. The guy couldn't get the ball downfield. Now, he is a weapon. I'm not saying he's not a weapon, but he is not a quarterback weapon.
Time out. You watch on Red Zone where they just show highlights?
Well, listen. I've watched enough Chicago Bear football to know what Chicago Bear football is. It's not Justin Fields, and that's the problem. They are outside of the realm of what they are used to playing football. They bring in this guy, and whether it's coaching, whether it's Fields, or whatever the case may be, they can't win enough to get into the playoffs. When's the last time the Bears made the playoffs?
I don't know. It's been a long time.
2020.
I mean, you want to go one more year? I'm not saying I have the answer. I'm just saying it's not Justin Field. It could be, but I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying anybody in the draft is the best thing for the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears, you want to hear it, Cuervo? You want to be in the playoffs next year? I'm going to tell you this, Cuervo. You go get Kirk Cousins, and you're going to be in the playoffs next year. I bet you a bottom dollar that you would see him right there in the playoffs. And not only that, who knows that division better than Kirk Cousins? Who wins with Justin Jefferson? So put him with DJ Moore. Listen, I'm telling you right now, the Bears need to be on the phone to try to get that guy.
He's got Justin Jefferson and all that.
Exactly. DJ Moore could be the same guy, just a different guy, different type of guy. Listen, that guy got snubbed from listen, this guy got snubbed from All Pro, even with Justin Field in the backfield.
No, he did. And even as a Bears fan, DJ Moore didn't get snubbed.
Oh, I do. I think he got blown out.
He's top 15. If you really go and you look at statistically, he's top 15. All right. Only so many receivers get Pro Bowl bids.
Yeah.
Why do you think he's number 15 then? I think he's higher, but why
he's
do you think he's 15?
Somewhere in the top 15, maybe somewhere between 10 and 15. Somewhere in there.
The only reason why DJ Moore's not top 10 is because he hasn't had a quarterback his whole freaking career. Okay. I'm just telling you, look where he came from. He came from Carolina. Okay. He had great years, couldn't make All Pro. He needs someone to be able to get that ball to him. And now Justin Field has done a good job of this. I'll give the credit where credit is due. But the simple fact of the matter is when you're not getting the ball to your superstar, do I need to go into a Pittsburgh Steeler rant here again? Get the ball to freaking DJ Moore, all of it, not here, not there, all the time. He's got to be your guy. Get him involved. He's had a great year. Keep feeding the ball. And by the way, that's the reason why they're going to do it. They're going to get it to DJ Moore because the secondary of the Green Bay Packers is
Question, Sonny. Question. Did you just say DJ Moore hasn't had a quarterback all his whole career?
Okay. I'm not sure where he came from, but he came from Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sorry. I don't know about his whole career. I probably used the wrong words. I'm not even sure where he came from before.
Let me just throw this out there real quick.
Okay.
DJ Moore this year has had career highs in receptions, yards, and touchdowns.
Yes,
but that must be because he doesn't have a good quarterback that's getting it done, getting him the ball, right?
Listen, I understand that, but at the same time, this guy, I'm saying he could even be better if he had someone else throwing him the football that will deliver the damn ball to him. Him being that number one idea. I'm just saying.
I can tell you right now, there's zero chance that the Bears go after Kirk Cousins.
Zero.
Matter of fact, it's a negative 10% chance. Okay, that's how much it's not going to happen.
I'm just saying they'd be smart to do
that. That the Jaguars have of taking Kirk Cousins.
The reason it's not going to happen is because I know how the GM operates. I know how Ryan Poles he thinks and he works. He doesn't get older with certain positions. If anything, he's going to get younger. All right. That's why he went out and got a young 25-year-old DJ Moore, 26, whatever he is. 27-year-old Montez Sweat. And he builds with younger guys. He ain't looking for no old vet like Kirk Cousins. That's not how he's going to build this team. He's either going to stick with Justin or
until you find your quarterback, he could be the Band-Aid until you get him if Justin Fields is not the answer. That's all I'm saying as far as because of the way it's looking, that's the way the Bears are going to go.
Tonight we're going to learn who the quarterback of the future is, gentlemen. It's right here. He's right here.
Hey, just FYI, DJ Moore is ranked number 7th in the league right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm saying he got snubbed. That's all I'm saying. He got snubbed. I think he should have been.
Well, but here's the thing, though. The people in front of him, though, if I may, you got Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, the guy from the Rams. I can't pronounce his last name.
Nakua.
St. Brown. The guy from the Niners, Anuk, or Atuk, I can't pronounce.
Ayuk,
yeah. Then you got DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's
after him, you got Nico Collins, you got Amari Cooper, you got Keenan Allen, you got Mike Evans, you got Jamar Chase, whatever his last name is. You got Michael Pittman, George Pickens, DJ Metcalf, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs. And the list goes on.
So there's at least three names there that you mentioned after DJ Moore that I would actually probably take over DJ Moore. Devontae Adams, I'd take him over DJ Moore.
because he needs someone to throw him the ball. Yes.
Amari Cooper, I'd take him over DJ Moore.
Wow, I like that.
I would probably take who else did you mention? Jamar Chase for sure. I'd take him over DJ Moore.
Stephon Diggs. Those are fair. Stephon Diggs. I take.
Look, this year, this year Justin Fields is ranked 23rd in quarterbacking. Okay, clearly that's not high, but considering the fact that he has had to run for his life, given what Cuervo said, they need offense. They need offensive line to protect him. Had he had that, he'd have better numbers.
Just to make sure, Sonny, when I was joking around and mentioned Kirk Cousins for Trevor Lawrence, you weren't gonna say you take that, were you? I just wanted to make sure.
I would take. I just right now. Okay. When I look,
everyone,
okay.
Listen, right now, you would take Kirk Cousins over Trevor Lawrence.
Oh man, right now, who's been playing better? Listen. It's all about playing better, man. It's all about getting the win. By the way, what has he done? What has he done? What has Trevor Lawrence done to make you feel confident in reality going in and week out when you can't beat the teams that you're supposed to be if you're a good football team? It means nothing to go play against the game that's there. Talk about a guy that's having a problem delivering the ball to wide receivers. You can look to him. Listen, where do you rank Justin Fields, or not Justin Fields? Where do you put Trevor Lawrence in the rankings in the NFL? Where do you put him right now? I'm talking to you, Bryce. Wake up. Where do you put him in the top? Whatever.
He's ranked 13 right now. He's ranked 13 right now.
Higher than Kirk Cousins.
Well, Kirk Cousins also can deliver the ball on a regular basis. I'm not saying that it would be the right idea for the Jaguars. I wouldn't be upset. I would not be upset if they had Kirk Cousins. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't be.
Time out. You would take the 24th ranked quarterback this year.
Who hasn't played in how many games without Justin Jefferson for 9 games? Yeah. I think yes. The answer is maybe. It's like, hey, listen. They got weapons out there to get the ball to. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's the future.
I'm not saying. What are you saying?
I'm saying as far as where the Jaguars are, if they started Kirk Cousins, I wouldn't be upset. I'm just wouldn't.
Sonny, are you drinking something, smoking something?
Hey, Bryce.
You can't see my arm, but
I cannot believe that I hear you say this.
Hey,
Bryce,
why? Because you're going to say that Trevor Lawrence sucks, but he's not great. I don't care what the numbers say. I watch this guy week in and week out. This guy does not deliver the ball the way he is supposed to. Sorry, he doesn't. I watched the damn games, and Trevor Lawrence, he might be the future. He might be the guy. But listen, I'm not confident even going into this game. I'm not even confident going into this game. If they can, what happens if they lose today?
Are they in or are they out?
They're out. They're out of the playoffs. They lose this game, and this is where Trevor Lawrence, if he's going to prove that he can be the guy week in and week out, this is the game he has to. Matter of fact, he drops that game. My stock on Trevor Lawrence goes way down. Yes, and I know he's hurt, and I shouldn't blame it on that. But this is a game champions win. Champions win. Well, hold on. That is totally different. We're talking about a different injury.
If it inflates your comment about Trevor Lawrence, yeah, it does. I mean, it's still relevant, though. I mean, Kirk Cousins has been hurt half the year, too, right?
So exactly. But I'm talking about somewhat of a healthy Kirk Cousins, and you know what I'm talking about. Quit trying to mask that whole thing. You know I'm talking about a Kirk Cousins who's not injured. So let's not that nonsense. Well, I'm telling you.
I mean, you can't have any ratings if you're injured. So, I mean, I get that. So going into when he was playing, he's ranked 24th. Trevor Lawrence
champions, Podfather, just where you know, champion football teams. Okay, all right, win this game. And if the Jaguars don't win this game, you can put a lot of it on Trevor Lawrence. I'm just telling you, I watch this guy on third down. I watch it. They're horrible on fourth. So you got a guy that has got to be able to deliver the ball. And what scares me about this Jaguar, I'm still picking them, but I'm telling you right now, these first two drives are going to be implicative of what the Jaguars are going to be in the playoffs if they win. And what I'm going to tell you is if they don't get out of that gate quick, the Jaguars are in trouble. Bryce knows it. That's the reason why he picked them. And I'm just saying.
Time out. You say you watch. You say you
watch
right
now.
Game, right?
If I have a healthy Kirk Cousins right now, I want Kirk Cousins. So that's just what I say.
Okay, question. You say you watch the damn game, right? You say it every week does, right?
Yes, I watched the damn game.
Okay. How many championship games has Kirk Cousins won?
I don't listen. How many have the Jags won? How many have the Jags won? I'm talking about how many have the Jags won. So we're talking semantics here. Right now, listen. Look at the numbers. You can look at the numbers for the last 4 years. Look at the numbers for the last 4 years, and Kirk Cousins has been a better quarterback than him. Period. You can sit there and argue the semantics. The better quarterback has been Kirk Cousins.
Sonny.
I'm sorry. You're just wrong. I'm sorry you don't want to admit it, but you're just wrong. Trevor Lawrence, you look last 2 years, who's been the better quarterback? I don't even need to look at the stats.
How long has Trevor Lawrence been playing football in the league?
I don't care, but I'm saying who's the better quarterback. I don't care how long someone's been there. They have not. I'm telling you right now, they lose this football game, my stock goes down on Trevor Lawrence so much. I'm telling you right now. I mean, this is his 4th year in there. If he's going to prove that he's going to be any kind of thing that can get the job done, they need to make the playoffs. They shouldn't have been where they are right now because of that 4-game skid. I'm telling you right now, that is the problem with the Jaguars. And yes, he might have been hurt, this or that. No, championship quarterbacks win a game like they are playing in Week 18. And that being said, am I wrong, Cuervo?
Is there a number higher than 100% that I can take? Look, I have a question for everyone except for Sonny Clark because he's the delusional.
Okay, hold on. Let me mute myself.
Mute yourself. But gents, gentlemen, could you imagine Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball to Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, Addison, that whole wide receiver core? Could you imagine how good Lawrence could be with that receiver?
Everybody be talking about him being the next quarterback to do the big thing.
100% right.
100%.
And yet, how many playoff games have they won, Cuervo?
Minnesota, I think, has only won one.
One playoff game with a guy. Wait a minute. With a guy who we have all said is allergic to the spotlight, who has consistently come up short in big games. Yet here's Sonny Clark saying, "Oh yeah, I would take him on my team over Trevor Lawrence, the guy who's only been there for 3 years, high round draft."
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the league for 10 years, right, and you play for multiple teams, and you have not been at that caliber of level that Sonny thinks he should be at, as opposed to a quarterback who has only been in the league for a handful of years with just one team, and that team has not really built everything around him yet. I mean, in Sonny's mind, blow it all up and go get the quarterback that he likes.
Trevor Lawrence's come from behind victory against the Chargers is a better win than any win Kirk Cousins has had in his career.
That's wrong because I got to jump in there because Kirk Cousins is the one that came back with the highest deficit to win a football game. I think the number was 32. So I'm not going to buy up on that because the guy who holds that record is Kirk Cousins from coming from behind. So that's where. But
I've watched
today. I'm telling you right now, real quick, Obi. Today, for this game, if I had my choice between Trevor Lawrence and Kirk Cousins, I'd put Kirk Cousins in there all day long. No. I know that sounds insane. I know everybody wants to love their quarterback. Listen, I don't love anybody, so I want the best one. But right now, if Kirk Cousins was 100%, I'd want Kirk Cousins in this game.
Okay,
Bryce,
listen.
you hear that?
So I'm gonna depart the show on this.
Okay.
I've watched, I think, maybe 2 or 3 games that the Jaguars have played this year. Because while I'm out west, so I really don't get the Jaguars unless they're playing on a primetime game. I can remember at least 2 of those games. There were many times that his receivers dropped balls.
Yes.
But yet that comes back on Trevor Lawrence's stats, not their stats. There was many balls that Trevor Lawrence put like literally right there, and they dropped it. You can't fault Trevor Lawrence for that, but yet the stats will show that, right?
I understand.
And so, like I said, I can't, for the many years as I've known you, I cannot believe that you're literally sitting there and saying, if both players were 100%, that you would take Kirk Cousins over Trevor Lawrence in this game.
Absolutely.
You are freaking nuts, man.
We need to get We need to call
it's going to come down to today. You watch the game. If the game is on TV, I don't know if I'm going to get it, but if the game's on TV, I'm going to watch. And I can guarantee you there will be at least 5 passes that Trevor Lawrence throws to his receivers or tight ends and running backs that they will drop.
I have a comment about that, and I'm not going to say it because no one will believe or understand what I'm saying. So
you kind of lost your credibility. So go ahead.
There is a mental aspect of this game that comes in there. You can sit there and argue that all day long, regardless of what someone feels about, how great Trevor Lawrence is and dropping the ball. Now, a part of that comes with it, and I'm not going to sit there and argue that part. I get the drop balls are there, but I'm telling you right now, championship quarterbacks get into a position where that doesn't happen. I believe it. And the only reason why I believe that is I've only seen how you see superstar quarterbacks, and I'll use Cuervo's, favorite quarterback of all time, Peyton Manning. He made names out of Gerson. Anybody ever hear of him before he played there? I mean, he made names out of it, and he gets them to catch footballs. Championship type caliber quarterbacks. Now, you can argue with me, and I would probably argue back and forth who's a championship quarterback better. Would it be Trevor Lawrence or Kirk Cousins? We can have that argument all day long, but I would take experience over inexperience. I would take a guy that can get the ball and can deliver the ball, and say whatever you want. You can look at the numbers and you can see whatever it is. Kirk Cousins has better numbers than Trevor Lawrence. It is. Now, I'm not saying that's what I'm not saying that's what they should do for the future. I'm just saying I would feel more comfortable with a certified good quarterback. We can, yes, he has Justin Fields. He has all but I'm telling you right now, I bet you a dime that these guys pick the ball out of the air a little bit more in reality. Go ahead there, Podfather.
Let me ask you a question, and I'll end it on this. Do you think Dak Prescott is a championship caliber quarterback? Because nobody else does. So, do you think he is
a championship caliber quarterback?
Right. I mean, he hasn't proved it. I mean, he hasn't. He has done it in the league, right? I mean, we always base his performance on his playoffs, right? So he hasn't really shown that he can do anything in the championship games or whatnot. Right?
Well, I give him a pass who is offensive coordinator.
Well, no. There's no pass here.
Oh, we lost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, pass or no pass. Fact is, Kirk Cousins has been in the league a lot longer than Dak Prescott. Mm-hmm. He has not even sniffed a championship game where he was on the verge of being a championship caliber quarterback. Trevor Lawrence has been in the league for a handful of years. He's had a team being built around him to get better. Sometimes it takes 5 years. Sometimes it takes 3 years. Sometimes it takes a year. He hasn't been fortunate.
Guys, I'm not saying for the future is Kirk Cousins. Okay, so let's get away from that. I'm talking one game right now.
Yeah,
one game right now. No.
I go with the young guy. I go with
You're
the young
trying
guy
to tell
because
me. And then let's go back. You talked about Kirk Cousins' big comeback game. Great game. Regular season.
I get it. I get it.
When the lights shine brightest and you needed it the most, Trevor Lawrence's comeback in the playoffs is better win than any win Kirk Cousins has had over his whole career.
Get it? I disagree. Wait, hold on. I love the fact that he came back and won the game.
We should
I
end
do.
we should end the show because you know what, Sonny? It's been long overdue, and I almost blame the fine co-host of this show for not staging an intervention with Mrs. Sonny and all the little Sonnies to get you off the drugs that you're on. And they need to get you off those drugs.
Bryce,
Take your microphone because you don't even deserve to have the show today.
Bryce, you should be offended because every time you come on, he kisses your ass. He loves on you so much. Then earlier in the show, he says, "I don't love anybody." So clearly, they build on you. So
I said that about quarterbacks.
It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm so glad I asked this question too, because I could see as soon as I brought up Kirk Cousins to the Jaguars, I could see your face. I've been on this show.
I love the idea. I love it.
And that's why I said, "Hold on, let me just make sure." And sure enough, you didn't disappoint.
I love the idea.
You didn't disappoint.
I love it. I'm easy though. I love it though.
Well, we got spicy today, didn't we?
I love it. That's what the show is about.
If we're gonna kick the show off, this was the way to kick the show off for the year.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
But always good to see you, Mr. Bryce from Brooklyn, with the best smile on the internet. So
on the internet.
But hey, by the way, what's your next gig that you're going? I mean, this guy goes everywhere, and he goes and sees everything. He's part of everything.
See what concerts are coming up. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I'll keep you posted.
I watch it. I watched your Ratbird scenario for your Pittsburgh Steelers, and I loved it, by the way, because that's what it is. So always good to see you, Mr. Bryce.
Always great having Sonny. Always appreciate being on the show. Thank you for having me on. You guys are
every week, anytime you let me know. You know when we're on. You know we'll be on when you want to be on.
Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy New Year.
Hasta luego. All right, that's it. Hold on. Let me just pop this out and put this back, and then we're all right there. So, let's talk. I love it.
Be nice to be back in the host seat right now.
I'll leave you there. I'll let you because I know you feel good right there. Matter of fact, I'll put that guy right there. I'll just kind of hang out up on the
your opinion, you need to be at the bottom, sir.
I'm on the bottom. So there it is. So you got the top two. I might as well be right there.
We still got a ton of games to go to. We got like 20 minutes to go. So let's. I say we wrap it.
So it's rapid. In other words, it's rapid fire time. So that being said, Atlanta and New Orleans, not a lot to be playing here for. And wait, hold on. What is the scenario for Atlanta there, Cuervo? You said you have all the scenarios. Is there anything that gets Atlanta into the playoffs? I think they win the division, they'll get a home field, but I don't know if they're let's see here. Standings. There we go. What do you got there, Cuervo?
Yeah, so for the Falcons, they can win the division if they win and then Tampa Bay loses today to Carolina.
Right. Yep. So as of right now, yeah, I don't know about that happening. I don't even know if they win today. I mean, because just more in the fact that I don't know if how they're defeated. So what are you looking at, Popfather, when you look at this one going into week 18?
Well, I talked bad about the Saints last week, and they put an ass kick on the team they played. So
they did.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the Saints in this game. They're playing at home, last game of the year. I don't know what the Saints are playing for, but
Saints are playing for a playoff spot.
Yeah, so I mean, that home field is gonna be a big advantage for them. Atlanta, are they ready yet? I mean, every time I say they are, they're not. Then when I say they aren't, they are. So it's this league has been so weird this year about this whole thing.
Absolutely.
So I'm just gonna go Saints. That's just gut feeling. Saints.
Cuervo, looking at this one, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I like the Saints as well. And for the Saints to win the division, they need to win plus Tampa Bay loss or a tie, or New Orleans ties and Tampa loses. So it's a
Gotcha.
little confusing, but basically, if
Tampa has to lose for either one of them to make it. So that'll be a game that we take a look at. And, well, we might as well go Tampa Bay, Carolina. I'm on Tampa Bay. They're just the better football team. They got something to play for. But then again, you got last week Carolina, just kind of showing a little life, but I don't think they got enough life to get into it. So, Podfather, what's your take up on that one?
Tampa Bay, just Carolina's melded in. They're done.
Cuervo.
Yeah, Tampa as well. I mean, yeah, Carolina's their season is over. They're done.
Definitely. All right. So, and we didn't get. I feel bad. 11-5 Cleveland Browns. So we should have been able to hop down there. We didn't able. But Cleveland and Cincinnati. What's your take up on this one? I like Cleveland's defense. I don't like Cincinnati, especially the way they lost last week. But then again, how many of the Cleveland Browns are actually going to start and play in this game? That comes into effect on this game. There, Podfather. Browns are already in, and the Bengals aren't.
But the Bengals have nothing to offer. They have nothing to offer right now. So, I mean, the Browns can play their backups all they want. The fact, I think the Browns secretly can be the spoiler in the AFC and topple the Ravens. I think they have that potential. That's a stretch. Yes, I know, because you got to go to Baltimore. But I mean, I'm just saying, if the momentum is going their way, they're riding that wave, and I don't see anybody in the AFC beating them when it comes to that. So I'm gonna go Cleveland. I mean, once again, you still want to have momentum going into the playoffs, a little momentum, especially because you got to play the next week. So
definitely,
I mean, if you lose the game and then you have to wait a week until you play again, like how Baltimore has to do right now, that might hurt them. That might hurt them more than anything else. So I think Cleveland rides the wave. They get through Cincinnati. Cincinnati's already out of the playoffs anyway, so they're gonna get by and then just get ready for the long stretch.
I actually just changed my pick. I was on the Browns. I just changed my pick. Cuervo, go ahead, just so that you know. I just changed my pick.
Yeah, so I like Cincinnati actually.
I do too.
No Flacco. Cleveland's already
Driscoll is going to start. So,
I didn't know that. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So for Cleveland, let's see if there's anything for Cleveland here. Nope, they're in already. Yeah. There's nothing. I mean, seeding might be the only thing, but they've already clinched. So, yeah, I like Cincinnati.
Well, then you know what? Then I'm going to change my pick Cincinnati too. Then because I know about their quarterback.
Yeah, Driscoll. I put that in the link that he was the one that was going to be one of the starting ones. So, and I you know what? I think I'm going to stay Cincinnati, but wouldn't it be great to go into the playoffs if you're the Browns to win with your backs? Your backups. You go in there and you win that game. You want to talk momentum, man? That's a great way to go into the final week. As far as that's concerned, I'm still going to stay with the Bengals.
I don't think that would matter though with the backups, though, because once again, those are players you don't see very often on the field winning a game.
Exactly.
It's like winning a preseason game. Nobody cares.
Yep, but I don't think anything really comes from that one in reality. So, that said, Minnesota and Detroit today. This is another one. Guys are going to be sitting. Minnesota needs the game, but Minnesota, God, they had no quarterback. It's just it's awful what's going on up there as far as, and they're trying to make it into the playoffs. They need to win today. Cuervo, what is Minnesota's scenario looking at the playoffs this year?
Well, Sonny, they need a ton of help. So actually, no, not as much as I thought. So Minnesota will clinch a playoff if they win, plus when Green Bay loses, plus Seattle and Tampa Bay. They need three different teams to lose. They need Green Bay,
gotcha,
Seattle, and Tampa Bay, or New Orleans.
Wow, interesting. So looking at this game, Sometimes you go on luck and you go on hope. Those scenarios will work. None of those scenarios are going to work for Minnesota. So I think maybe they even have it in their mind that they're already defeated before they hit the field. That's the reason why I'm not on the Vikings today. Who do you got, Cuervo?
Yeah, I like Detroit as well. I just think Dan Campbell is the type of coach. He don't care if it's the last game of the year. He don't care if it's, if you've already got a spot secured. He's going to go out there and he's going to win. He wants to win that game. That's the type
and that's proven. Old school coaches like him do exactly what he's going to do today. They play their, they may only play for a half, depending on what the situation is and everything else. But I'm telling you right now, Jared Goff is starting this week. His wide receivers are everybody's starting the first part of this game. So at least that part, depending on what's going to end up happening as far as that is concerned. The play, hey, there it is. Gotcha.
Whoa, what's going on, man?
There he is, Zach. So you know who he is?
Yes, we served together. We met on deployment, so he's good. He's a good friend. Good friend.
All right, there you go. Please let's get a better draft pick. I don't know. And is that that's obviously has to be quarterback because of whatever's going to happen with my guy Kirk Cousins. That should start today for the Jaguars if it was going. That being said, I like it. So looking good there. But I'm not on the Vikings this week. So that also being said, the next game up on board.
You want to pick?
You already said who you were going to pick.
Who did I say?
The Lions.
I was going to pick the Lions, but I didn't say it though.
Maybe I had the.
I'll ask for him.
Yeah. So who you got there, Podfather?
Well, after this long deliberation of sitting here hearing how we think about the Vikings and the Lions, give me the Lions.
Gives you a line. All right, very good. Jets and the Patriots this week. So, Podfather, Jets and the Patriots. God, they both suck. Oh my God! You want to talk a toilet bowl? There you go. You got one there for you. But everybody up in the Northeast is gonna be loving what's going on. Two teams going at it. Who you got? It's a bad game.
Oh my God.
It's a horrible.
As much as I'd like to think that New England will have enough to win one more game for Belichick before he hangs up in New England, I just don't see it. Not that the Jets are any better. I mean, we're talking probably a final score of 6-3. I mean, or 3-0 for that matter. I'm just going to go Jets. I might change that though. I mean, because I am concerned the fact that this might be Belichick's last game there. So, but I don't think those players care about him enough to want to win a game for him.
Yeah, maybe it could be. That's a great point.
So I mean, once again, the entire area of New England might want him to have one last win, but if they win, that hurts them in their draft stock. So.
Yeah, there you go.
And the Jets are notorious for being stupid to begin with, so they can win this game and ruin their draft stock. So, they're waiting for next year in case Aaron Rodgers happens to want to play again. So I don't.
Oh, he's going to play. He's going to play. He's already. By the way, he's already come out and said he's going to be there next year. So he is going to be there. So
he's good for 3 points. So yeah, give me the Jets. To pick them.
All right, Cuervo, in a game that can only be described as
terrible. Crazy knucklehead of
terrible game. Who do you got in this one?
Yeah, I thought I was going to be the only one, but I think Podfather he be hacking into my thoughts and my notes that I got for these games. So I like that. I'm picking the Jets as well. And by the way, side note for the Jets. Here's another reason why we know for sure that Aaron Rodgers is coming back, because it's already coming out that the Jets are going to be looking to trade Zach Wilson. So chew on that for a minute.
What are they going to get for that?
What can they?
I didn't say they were going to
They,
lock for him. I just said they're going to trade
they
him.
might get a carton of cigarettes and a couple beers. That's about it. Though.
What?
But they're going to trade him. And
Yeah,
they're probably not going to trade
trade
him.
him.
Nobody's going to want him, so they're going to cut him. And
That's
how
interesting. How that? Yeah. All right, so we'll get Cuervo back here in a moment. Go ahead.
Hello, Seattle.
Yeah. Hey, backup quarterback. I mean, listen.
I think he'd benefit for the coach of for Seattle.
Listen. I am with you. I as much as I hate the guy up there in the Pacific Northwest, that of course being their head coach, Pete Carroll, that might be the best thing for him. He gets the best out of quarterbacks that no one can get. You got to tell you. Well, okay, you got 2 years, and you got Geno Smith as your starting quarterback, and not only that, you're paying him a pretty good sum. So
I mean, he had a good 5-year period with Russell Wilson, where Russell Wilson really did no wrong.
I agree,
but then the league figured out Russell Wilson, and no matter what happens, if you can't get outside that and improve your game on a different level than like how Brady did it, then because Brady gave the league plenty of time to figure him out.
Oh, there's no question.
I mean, he gave him playoff games, he gave him Super Bowls, he gave him all these other different games that came outside of regular season. So the league's then go, oh, that's how he does it. Okay, because he found a way to adapt. And
a
lot of times coaches like Pete Carroll can take a quarterback and get them at their strongest point, and sit there and go, okay, we got a 3-year window here to do something with you. Only 3 years, because that's how long this roller coaster goes.
It's a long time in the NFL, man.
It's a long time. That's 48 games, or no, it's more. No,
you didn't do the math real, but that's okay. I get your point.
It's like under 50 games. So I mean, I think Zach Wilson will benefit from that. I don't know if he'll be a starter there. Probably not. But right now, if you're let's say you're what's another team that has a really bad quarterback situation?
The Patriots. I mean, the Jets are the team they're playing.
I mean, okay. How would Zach Wilson play under Belichick? How different would his game be there? I mean, at the end of the day,
I don't think it'd be very good, because if anything, that's Mac Jones. Okay, if he's going to be good, it's Mac Jones, and we're not getting a lot out of him right now. Maybe 5 years ago, maybe it'd be a different story.
It's the quarterback brain of Zach Wilson that needs to be adjusted right now.
I agree.
I don't think he got that at all with the Jets. Even with Aaron Rodgers being there, it's kind of like, hey, look, I'll help you out maybe a little bit because no one else helped me out. Like Brett Favre just kind of bailed on me.
Yes, he did.
But then he bailed on him when he got hurt because he couldn't be there in practice all the time. So there was McAfee saying what he would do differently. So
all I heard is that Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson were pretty tight while he was there, before he got hurt and everything. So I don't know how much he was there after he got hurt. I mean, we see him on the sidelines in the games. So listen, I'm not an Aaron Rodgers personally, but the guy's a good team. And you can sit there and say whatever you want about him. The guy's a good teammate. He would not be on the sidelines if he didn't give a rat's. So I think it's important. And I throw the conspiracy theories and all this other crap out the window, and I don't care about it. I want to see 17 football games with Aaron Rodgers as the starting quarterback, and what can he do for the backup? I don't think the backup is Zach Wilson anymore. However, I'll tell you right now, I think the Jets should go after Mac Jones to back up. At least he's got it under. He's got a little Belichick under him, so it might be a good thing for him. I don't know. Zach Wilson might be done. Who knows? I'm not sure who would pick him up, but I don't think there are going to be any teams out there that are going to pick him up for a starting quarterback gig in the NFL. Unless something happens up in Seattle, but I don't think it is. Geno Smith kind of solidified himself for next year as well, although he didn't play as good this year as he did last year, but still good enough to keep it being good graces with Pete Carroll. So, but
We'll see.
all right. So that being said, the next game that's up on board here. Oh, this one I think this one's going to be a good one. Denver and Las Vegas. Denver and Las Vegas, and we don't have Cuervo to give us the playoff scenarios, but just kind of looking at where the division is as far as the AFC, and over there in the West, you got the Chiefs on top.
Yeah.
Chiefs on top at 10-6. You got the Broncos at 8-8 and Raiders at 7-9. So interestingly enough, both of those guys are, they're working for playoff. Do you have any scenarios? I don't know what they are as far as that.
I don't. I'm not Cuervo. I didn't come prepared.
No, I never come prepared, but I just look at this, and as far as the AFC side is concerned, and all I see in reality is no Raiders.
Right.
As far as that is concerned, and when you look at it, as far as
Broncos, I mean, if you look at it record wise, everybody's got a better record than 8-8 or 7-9.
Yeah, so I don't think there's a playoff scenario in this one. In reality, I think they are out.
So for that matter, give me the Raiders, because once again, Raiders got a new coach. They're liking what they got with them. I think this is Sean Payton. Let's just mail this year in because we didn't get everything we wanted, and start all over again next year.
Exactly. And I thought I pushed that button and I didn't. All right, so we're back in. And Cuervo, if he gets back before that, because we're at the top of the hour. And let's see here. The Philly and New York, a big game, a playoffs or not. I know you're going to be watching this one big time, especially if the Dallas Cowboys decide to drop this game. So what's your take?
Eagles.
I think I just think the better team in reality, and the Eagles really need to get this one.
Here you go. Real quickly, because we're top of the hour. Here, I'll help speed this along. Okay, just give me your pick. Kansas City Chargers at Chargers.
Well, I'm going to stay on later. What do you mean? I'm not. I'm going to talk a little about them. I'm not going to take.
Sir, we don't have the kind of time, sir. Come on.
I don't care. This it's not the way I do it. So I'm on Seattle and Arizona. At Arizona, I don't know where they are. Seattle, listen, they're in the running for that playoff spot there. So I mean, take a look there. There you are, right there on the bubble. So what's your take up on the game? If you got to go, you got to go. I get it.
I don't got to go. I'm trying to speed the show along for you. Give me Seattle. Once again, they're playing for something.
Yep, they're playing for something. All right, so let's go back. I got Cuervo back in there. Cuervo, the Denver and Las Vegas, none of those teams can make the playoffs, right?
They're both out.
Denver and they're both out. So who are you picking? Right now, just the team's playing better for their coach. Which one's playing better for their coach? I think it's the Raiders. Who you got?
Yeah, there's been a lot going on since the last time I was on the show 2 weeks ago. There's been a lot going on in Denver, especially. It just kind of makes me wonder if how bad these guys want Sean Payton to continue being the coach.
Has he lost the locker room is the question. In reality, it seems like.
I partially, yes. I do think so. I think he's lost part of the locker room because the way they did Russell Wilson, it was beyond unprofessional in my opinion.
Well, it's horrible.
Beyond unprofessional. Like, to threaten a dude to take a pay cut, not pay cut, but to waive an injury clause to your contract.
Well, they asked him to take a pay cut, but though, just so you know, Cuervo too.
Restructure it, which leads me to believe, gentlemen, I haven't really heard anyone mention this. I wonder, because of the timing of when they asked him to do that, were they trying to trade him at the deadline? Is my thought. No, I haven't heard anyone mention that. I don't know if you guys talked about it on the show the past couple of weeks, but that was my initial thought was, okay, you asked him to do it right like a few days before the trade deadline. Were you guys trying to trade him? Or is it just because of the timing of their bye week? That's kind of what I'm wondering.
I don't think that ever came up because the bigger issue was asking him to take a pay cut. And because
the injury portion of it. It was more of the injury part of it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but the thing is, we would have heard something through ESPN or someone else saying sources say that they're trying to trade Russell Wilson. We didn't hear that. So,
that whole situation was so hush. We didn't hear anything about, the bench threatening to bench him. That didn't come out until what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. So I don't really know the answer to that because that is just a jacked up situation up there in Denver because you have what was going in a Hall of Fame caliber coach in some sense. I mean, you question whether he's a really Hall of Fame or not, but I mean, he was a top coach that everybody would be gunning for. You get him in there, you have a quarterback that everybody's like, he still has something left in the tank, and no, like it's just backfired completely. That's like if Bill Parcells came to your hometown and destroyed the team from the. Oh, well, he did that here, didn't he? Shit, never mind. But,
so there you go. I don't know. It was really, that whole situation was just garbage, but by the way, I read an article that he tried to pull that crap with the wrong guy. In reality, with Russell Wilson, listen, Russell Wilson is not an idiot, and what they were trying to do to him, he's got the Players Association going after them. He is not the dumbest guy in the world. He's got all the backing in the world, rightfully so, and frankly, he might put a kibosh up on what's going to happen, as far as the head coach is concerned, They're in Denver. Something to talk about.
Listen, I'm a little biased towards Russell Wilson because he's a former Texas Ranger great, but I'm just saying, for the one spring game he played, exactly. Hey, because of him, we won the World Series. Years later with a whole different team. Don't worry about that.
I get it,
and new ownership for that matter. But and a new stadium. Either way, he got the ball rolling for us. But
I'll put an article in the show chat that explains this whole thing that's going on. It's really an interesting story, about what's going on, why it's going on, and things of that sort. And you'll see all the people who are going to get involved with this. It's not just going to be Russell Wilson. It's not going to be the agents and things of that sort. No, the NFL is going to get involved with that. I just put that up in there. Hey. Take a second to read it when you get an opportunity.
It's gotten dirty, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. So Seattle and Arizona, to kick into it. Seattle and Arizona Arizona don't have a lot to really talk about. So Cuervo, what's your take up on that one?
Yeah, Seattle. I mean, Arizona's probably, halfway cleaning their lockers out. They're just trying to get through this game and move on to the offseason and start focusing on the draft. So,
hey, I'm not too sure Colin already cleaned out his locker.
Well, and by the way, didn't Kyler Murray get hurt last week? And maybe I'm just remembering something different from like just an old, but I thought he got a little banged up in that game last week.
Yes,
yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't watch a lot of the games last week.
Well, you weren't watching any games. You were in Las Vegas. Yeah, kind of. Yes, you had things to do, places to go, people to see. Looking, Kyler Murray. He's just sick. So maybe I'm just seeing the hit that he did. He's just sick. He's that could be too. So who wouldn't? So Kansas City and the Chargers. An important game for the Kansas City Chiefs to get the win. What is that playoff scenario in reality? If the Chiefs lose this game, what happens to them, Cuervo? You got the scenario set up. What's with the Chiefs?
Yeah, I mean they've won the division, Sonny. So
Okay.
There's really not a whole lot for them.
Got
It
it.
could be one of those. They move from the 3 seed to the 2 seed or something like that. If Miami loses,
Got it.
It could be one of them situations.
Got it. So with really no playoff implications, the Chargers aren't going there. Kansas City, it's not going to matter very much at 10-6. They're going to win this division. You know, you got to question what they're going to do in the playoffs. Of course, we'll talk about that next week here up on the shows. But at Kansas City, you know, don't need the game. I mean, do we see Patrick Mahomes? Do we see Travis Kelce? What do you think we see in this one? And can the Chargers sneak one out? Because we're not going to see Mahomes, or that's always the big question in this one. What's your take there, Cuervo?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, no Mahomes for sure. I could tell you that's already been determined. No Patrick Mahomes today.
Who's starting for them?
So it's going to be who the hell is their backup?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift is the backup today for the.
Who is it?
Chiefs. Taylor Swift.
Taylor. Daily $8 short. I knew I missed something. Let's see here. Let's see here.
Blaine Gabbert? No, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, Blaine Gabbert. Yes, yes, Blaine Gabbert. Oh no,
he's still in the league.
He's starting. Blaine Gabbert is starting, by the way, wherever team he plays for. I seen that in confirmed starting. So let's find out. Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah, he's currently with the Chiefs. Yeah.
I thought, is he a 49er?
No, he's with the Chiefs.
No. Blaine Gabbert is a Kansas City Chief, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on. Let's see what this says. Blaine Gabbert is a Kansas City Chief. So Blaine Gabbert will be starting today for the Chiefs. That's not a bad backup. I mean,
boy, he's been around, hasn't he? I mean, he's been with the Missouri Tigers, then he went to Jacksonville, then he went to the Niners, then the Cardinals, then the Titans, then the Bucks.
Yeah, he's back up there. So does that change your pick? Are you still up on Kansas City in this one in reality? Because I don't know. He's the better backup. So who has the better backups on the team and who all going to play? Big question. I don't have a lot of trust in what's going on as far as Los Angeles and the Chargers. You know, their coaching staff, they're already out the door. They already know it, and you know, and so I don't know what to expect in this game. So I hate this game because this is the one that
I almost
one or goes down one.
I almost want to pick the Chargers.
I want to, but even with what they're doing, can they be good enough to come back and beat these Chiefs in reality, even with the backups? I hate this. I'm just going to go with the favorite. I'm going Kansas City. I don't have any friggin' reasoning in reality to go for it, but I am. So what do you think, Pop? Who are you going for?
Chiefs.
Chiefs and Cuervo.
Yeah, I guess I'll go Kansas City, but something I don't know. I got a funny feeling about this game that Chargers might actually try to win this game.
Honestly, if you got a funny feeling, I think you should pick the Chargers because you and I are 3 games apart. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
I mean, I can.
Hey, that could be one he gains on you.
I can throw the lead, or you go. You can
there you go.
Yeah, not a whole lot to lose.
Yep. So
trying to get 3 games up on the Podfather last week. I mean, you really got to know. You really got to know.
All right. So that being said, go ahead, Podfather. You were going to say something.
I was going to say, all year it has been neck and neck with just about everybody, really.
Yep.
And until like a few weeks ago when I pulled away from most everybody, but me and Cuervo have been like right there on the cusp of each other. We have been tied. We have been back and forth, and to have this further enough, it's scary. This week is scaring me a lot because there are games that we think should be the winner, but the circumstances are going to have them pull certain players out of there. And then we got to think, well, do we go with this team now because this team's not going to have anybody? Dealt with that with the Steelers and the Baltimore last night, and I was worried about that one. That worked out in my favor. So clearly, we're all kind of just like, this is a touch and go week right now. It sucks. So
yeah. You got to really know.
The last game that we have. So the last game we haven't covered, Rams in San Francisco. Now San Francisco's already in. What's their? Did they win the top of the NFC?
Yeah. They're number one, so they're pulling everybody tonight.
Yeah, they're not going to play anybody in reality, So that's why I'm on the Rams.
Yeah, and the Rams are playing for something. I mean, they're playing for better positioning.
What's their playoff scenario, Cuervo, as far as the Rams and what needs to happen for them to sneak in?
Lions need to lose.
So the Rams, give me one.
I know the Lions need to lose, and Green Bay needs to lose.
Well, they're already in, so I mean, I think it's just a.
I didn't know that. I thought they had to win to get in. So
no,
right, very good.
Because if the league stopped today and went to the playoffs, they'd be playing the Lions in the playoffs.
Got it.
Right.
So, all right. So, yeah, the question is, what will end up happening? I'm just going to go Rams, just more in the fact that they need momentum. In reality, I think they know it. I mean, obviously, compared to who they're playing, so it's a little bit different as far as that is concerned. San Francisco is just the cream of the crop. The question is will the backups rise to the occasion and play? And I don't know, but when you got the Rams got to play, they need the momentum to go in the playoffs if they're going to be that sneaky team. I think they can be. So I'm going to go with the Rams. So, Podfather, who you got in this one?
Yeah, give me the Rams. I think they're going to do the same thing what Steelers did to Baltimore last night.
Cuervo, what you got there?
Same Rams.
So, all right, we got them all covered as far as the games are concerned, and so good stuff. Loved talking. It was fun. I think that's. I can be the most depressed guy in the world, and I can come on this show and turn around and be okay. Even with that guy right there, giving me the hard time that he always.
You made us a pressure on the show when you started going all pro Kirk Cousins over your quarterback. What a fan you are.
I love talking that. That was so much fun.
I give you the
wrong,
benefit of the doubt.
I love it.
I give you the benefit of the doubt, Cuervo. Even though your team has got the first pick in the draft, although it's all because of Carolina, but because their season's pretty much melded in right now because of what it is. You sit there as a proud fan, supporting your quarterback, supporting your team, giving that rah-rah chant, being the fan. You're a better fan than I am with the Cowboys, clearly. But I mean, but that guy right below us who sits there and says he wears his Jacksonville Jaguars Tom McManus jersey with the patch on the side, and now he's over playing with his titties. I mean, while he's sitting there doing all that, he'll sit there and say, "But they can't win at home. They can't win with their quarterback. They need Kirk Cousins. They need other people." What a fan you are!
I don't know. I would just love to have Kirk Cousins for this game. Just me.
Podfather.
I know people think I'm insane. That's fine. I live with
Jaguars.
That. We know you're insane.
The Jaguars could go 15-2, and he'd still find something negative.
He's got a problem with those 2 losses. He's got a problem with those 2 losses.
Right.
I mean, okay. With the wonderful
and the Bills. How could you?
With the wonderful quarterback that Jacksonville Jaguars. And so I'm just going to ask, Cuervo, are the Jacksonville Jaguars contenders or are they pretenders?
For the Super Bowl?
No, just in general.
I think they're a playoff contender. I don't know if they're a Super Bowl contender, but they're a playoff contender.
Okay. I would like to see more from them. That 4-game losing streak, which I predicted, except for 1 game, that put a lot of you thought I had question marks before that. That 4-game losing streak just changed my attitude about what the Jaguars are. Now, the good grace in that. So let me give you a positive is Peterson. Peterson is the guy that if there's going to be any saving of this team, it's going to come from the head coaching position. I believe that solidly. I love Peterson. I believe he's the right coach. But whether or not that he can get that team to gel and be ready for next year, because even if they make the playoffs, they're gonna get bounced in the first or second round.
I have a question for you then. You got such love for Peterson. How much stock do you put in the quarterback head coach relationship there if you don't think Trevor Lawrence is the guy?
Well, how much stock do I listen? We're talking one game. I'm not talking about the future, although maybe I would love to see Kirk Cousins start next year. But as far as the relationship, I like the relationship. I really do. But say whatever you want. You can have a wonderful relationship if it doesn't develop, ticks up underneath the W. You look at the future and what it's going to go on. The love affairs don't get anything done. Okay. All right, unless that tick is underneath the W, guess what? It means, and the relationship can be whatever you want it to be. They got to get the W's. Now, Peterson did it with Nick Folk, so I got some trust in the guy. But whether or not it's going to happen, that's going to have to call on Trevor Lawrence making good decisions. Because let's just be honest. Even though Obi did bring up the point that he did hit, some wide receivers and they dropped the ball, this guy also threw some miserable footballs and a lot of turnovers. Look at the interception rate and you'll know what I'm talking about. And a good 70 to 75% of them were horrible decisions made by the quarterback. So, but at the same time, I get what the future is. I know you got to roll, as far as what you're going to do for the future. Obviously, Kirk Cousins is not the future for this football team. I am an idiot, but I even know that. But at the same time, hopefully Trevor Lawrence can show up and say, I'm going to be the quarterback of this football team and I'm going to lead us into the playoffs. So I think, well, it could be interesting. Listen, I've been known to be wrong on this show.
I mean, I would trust I would trust Trevor Lawrence down the road than I would trust Nick Foles today.
Yeah, or Kirk Cousins. I would agree with you on that.
So that's why, to build that quarterback trust, to see if you're thinking that like with Dak Prescott, right? We have a lot of doubts with him when it comes to games that matter. Okay. Until he does something, we don't know. So until Trevor Lawrence, but then again, Kirk Cousins never did anything when games mattered. So let's
but you got to get the wins to get there.
But if it comes down to just picking your favorites, that's not a legitimate gripe saying, hey, this should be the future of our team.
No, I don't think
look, Danny White was my favorite, never won a championship game. Okay.
Yeah.
But I take him over Quincy Carter any day. That was Quincy Carter. Okay.
Oh man. Look where the show is.
We've had some bad quarterback play in Dallas for a while, okay?
Yeah, there you go. And they never lived that down, by the way, and they shouldn't.
He tried to the playoffs.
Of course he does. Of course, that's what the king of master of marketing. He's
the New York con man.
Gotcha. All right, guys, let's get to some football. I kept you 22 extra minutes. So
I'm glad I got the day off. So enjoy, guys. Enjoy.
Yeah, anybody doing anything we need to know about there, Cuervo?
Detroit's up 7-0, and Cincinnati is about a yard away from scoring.
There we go, Cincinnati. Look what they're doing. So, all right, very good, guys. We'll see you next week. Since it is playoff time, they're going to start at noon, so we're going to do 9 to noon, and we'll talk about everything. I'm not going to. Are they doing playoffs on Saturday? Yes, they are. They're doing playoff games on Saturday, aren't they?
Yeah, well, but I don't know the exact schedule, Sonny. That's something you and I will have to message throughout. When we find out during the week.
Yeah,
actually, it might come out tonight after all the games are over. But regardless, I'm sure either Sonny and I will post what time we're going to start next week.
Gotcha. Yeah, we'll get it posted. We'll find out, and when it's convenient. And I say this all the time, especially in the off season and then the playoffs time. If and when the time is best for you, we'll bring that up and get it going. The only problem is we get Podfather losing him on Sundays when we kind of shift the hours. So depending upon the situation,
Well, I mean, the thing is, I don't have to be at work till 2, so I can definitely help out, and before then, if need be. So
we'll take a look and find out and what works best for some of the schedules and things of that sort. We'll see.
You know what? Maybe a little bit of Friday Night Lights if you guys are able to.
Do what now?
Friday Night Lights.
I'm down with it.
Friday night would have to be after 8:00 for me.
That's fine.
So I don't know about, and so that's 6:00 your time, Cuervo.
Unless I'm working a concert, I'm good with it.
Okay.
So if we were to do that, Sonny, just so you know, if we were to do that, I'd be joining you on the road because I'm working night shift this week, so I get off at 6:00.
Oh, aren't those?
It's okay though. I mean, I don't mind. I'm just letting you know I'll be on the road.
Well, I'm off on Saturday, so if we even wanted to do a Saturday before the games that start up on Saturday, we talk about all the games, then we can do that. Yeah. We'll throw those times around. We'll figure out what's good.
Hey, honestly, I think Saturday morning, the time we start this thing, be perfect for me because I don't have to work until if I'm working concerts, if I'm working whatever. Chances are I'm not having to get in there until like 12 or so. So I'm good.
Sounds like a plan. I think Saturday sounds good. It sounds we'll see if that works within Bryce's schedule. But I think we got 3 who are normally here all the time. That might be best for us. We can knock it out on Saturday instead of Sunday. Works fine.
But also the shows don't have to be 4 hours long either because clearly
that's my prerogative. That's not anybody else's prerogative. So
there's only like 2 games a day, and then you got a Monday.
Yeah, I mean, even as much as we can be vocal, we even with we're only got there's a total of 7 games, I think, right? Or 8 games. There's 8 games, so we can knock those out. That's not a problem. So.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us in the Couch Potato Sports Show. 18 straight weeks, didn't even miss one. I didn't get sick or do moving. I still got in here, even moving. So we're all set and ready to go. 18 straight weeks. By the time we end the Super Bowl, we will be 15 years up on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Cuervo is about ready to celebrate his 14th year as we get into a little bit later on in the year, March, January, February, March. As when you joined the club, as far as that's concerned. So we'll do all that. Hope everybody has a great week. Cuervo, always good to see you, my friend. By the way, who'd your wife pick in today's Bronco game against the Raiders?
Well, I mean, of course she's going to pick her Broncos, especially against the Raiders.
How does she feel about what's going on as far as the coaching? Has she expressed her disappointment?
Well, she didn't like Sean Payton before. Now she don't like him even more.
Got it. Okay. She liked him when he was winning, but now since all the controversy and the losing has started back up, she's kind of a little bit torqued.
Well, I just think the whole situation with Russell Wilson, the way she thinks it's on him that he did him dirty with, the benching and threatening to if you don't take the pay cut or if you don't take the injury clause out, then you're going to get benched. Like it was just a bad scenario. And I'll make a prediction on this show, Sonny, because you alluded to it a little bit.
Okay.
So the NFLPA is involved, right? And they're looking at the legal side of this.
Yes, they are.
I think if it's found that what they did was illegal, I think the Broncos absolutely have to consider firing Sean Payton, even after one season.
I agree 100%. It's one thing to be a tyrant. It's another to break the law. And it basically, from that article that I sent out in the thing, he's broken a couple of laws, which in turn the Players Association, I forget about breaking the law. The Players Association is going to be all over their asses because they got that much power. Breaking the law, that's a fine. That's nothing there. It's about the Players Association going to get on the Denver Broncos, and the Broncos can't do it the Walmart way, is doing it on the cheap. they're going to end up losing that battle if they decide to go that route. And they can sit there and all day long and say that it was a coaching decision. That's not going to fly. There's too much stuff going around outside that says that it's not, and it got leaked, and that was a bad thing to get leaked in reality, and it's going to cost the Broncos a lot of money. So
yeah, 100%,
my man.
So, yeah, 100%.
So, all right, my man. Enjoy the rest of the day and the rest of the games, my friend.
Same.
Catch you later, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the Couch Potato Sports Show. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.